Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Good. Get me getting all set up. You guys are the most timely students. I have in the other classes, people straggle in, and I'm like, no, no, come all in at the same time like you guys do. You're just like, "Rah," all they're ready to go. Love it. Hello, hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Mm.
Oh,
Morning.
Diana,
Yes,
Deanna, can you hear me?
yes, I can.
Oh, listen, I'm running into all sorts of trouble. I had family arrive and then I was on jury duty.
Oh my
I
God.
know. I heard.
I'm just getting back up and I'm completely behind. So here's my thought. I will try to stay in the class, and if I can't, I'll come to the fall set.
That's fine, but you know what? I mean, you only missed last class. You only missed Tuesday, right? Last week you were here.
Yes, yes, but I
That's
didn't do any of the homework.
that's
So,
okay.
okay.
Stick
Anyway,
with
I love the class and I want to do it, but I'm so
Don't worry.
in.
If you feel lost, let me know. And if it's too much, then yeah, you can take it again in spring. The way I recommend is just hang in with it, and there's some things that you'll miss, and then
Thank,
the next time around you'll pick up on those things that you missed, right?
thank you.
So
I will do it. Thank you.
don't worry too much. But yeah, whatever you need to do to feel comfortable.
Okay.
So welcome.
Thank you.
Let's see who's here. Hi, Julie. Hi, Mason. Hi, Georgia. I assuming I assume, Carol, that you don't want to be known as Canoodle. You might want to change that, or
Oh,
I can change it for you.
I'm
Rodney,
sorry. Toastmaster meeting, and that was the word of the day.
that's
Oh,
fine.
sorry.
I love that you do that. Carol, hi, Jennifer and Sue, and let me see who's here. Patricia and Yolanda. And I have one Zoom user. I believe it's the second computer. Sue, are you in on both computers?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so that Zoom user is your second
And
computer.
you didn't get an echo this time because I finally figured out how to turn off the other computer.
Before, like, yeah, like before, as you
Right.
connect, just say no to sound. Hallelujah. See, you guys,
I had to watch your whole video from day before yesterday because the sound was so bad that I couldn't hear, so I had to start all over.
guess what? The more you watch, the more you learn, right?
That's right.
And you know what? All I was gonna say, incremental steps, it all works. Whenever everyone always tells me, "Oh, you're so patient, you're patient." It's just that I know that repetition works, and I'll just say it again, and we'll do it again, and then at some point it'll sink in, and it's fine. It's just how things. That's learning, right?
Thank
So perfect. So whenever someone despairs, and I'm talking to you, Jennifer, who were just saying that, just with it. The more you be, and I have to say, thank you for saying that, Sue. She listened to the whole class again. And when you are listening, when there's nothing at stake, like you don't have people waiting for to go on with the class because she's answering you and you're nervous and all that, when you can just sit and listen, you might be able to get some of the stuff that in the moment you're all like, no, 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 I'm taking people's time, that kind of thing, which by the way, everyone's learning when you're asking questions, but it is also true that sometimes you do seem to have like your brain gets all muddled when everyone is there listening to the thing. So just listen to it again, you guys. The recordings, there's always like the good and bad of COVID, lots of bad, but the good has been the recordings. I see it as such a benefit,
Yeah.
such a blessing, because if you hear it just from me in front of the class once and never again, it's in one ear, out the other, and it's harder. But with the recordings there, take advantage of them and use them to. It took a while for me to get accustomed to knowing that everything I say is sitting there being recorded. But now that I'm okay, like I got it, and it's like, okay, it's good. All right. Which, by the way, that means that you've learned how to go back into the handouts and get the recordings because I haven't been sending them. So another great thing that means that you were able to do. So. All right. So anyone who's left who really can't figure out how to get back to the recordings, please, I can give you another video or I can help you again. Like we can stay a little bit during break or stuff like that. I'm finding that when I'm teaching, basically I'm teaching from 9 a.m. to
12 hours.
5 p.m. and then I stay longer for that one. I really need my breaks. Other classes, when I don't have anything coming behind, I stay after breaks and stuff. So it's harder for me to say, oh, I'll help you during break. But if I can help you during break 5 minutes of the 15, then I still get 10. That's fine. What's hard is when I take up my entire break. So I can do that, but I can also give you videos, and it's just a matter of practice sometimes. Okay. All right, I see some people going to the chat and writing, so I haven't done my little own my own writing in the chat. So here I go. Can everyone please write in that chat? Bob, I hear what you're saying that you need to leave. I'm going to rename so I can have your last name there. Sometimes I forget, but if you can remember how to change your names, that's better, because now and then I remember, now and then I forget. All right, yes, Julie, what's up?
My whole thing froze. I don't know if anybody else froze. So I just had to totally log out. Do I need to sign in again? I don't know what happened, but
You're here and it's moving, and I don't know. Zoom sometimes does weird things, but you're fine. You can see us now, right?
oh yes, but do
no
you
one
want
else
me to
froze?
sign in? Do you want me to sign in again, or did you
No,
see
that's
it?
okay. I mean, you can give a little hey ho on the chat just in case.
Because
but
I
we
did
can
it
see you
before.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there still is Julie Moore. Good morning. You froze, but your hello is still there. So.
Okay. And
yeah.
I need to leave early, but I don't know what happened. Our power didn't go out. It's just my computer froze.
I can't answer that. Now and then things happen, and I think that Zoom does tax our computers, and every now and then maybe it's in the middle of some process and it glitches. I don't really know. I just know that
Okay.
for the most part, my Zoom works. I mean, I use it every day for hours and hours. And then once or twice a year, it suddenly freezes. It did maybe it was with you guys or not, but I know that a couple of days ago, my Zoom just and that just happened. And it's not happened in years. So I don't know. What can I say?
Okay, so nobody else had it, just whatever my issue was. Okay.
No, you've been the one and only blessed with the freezing.
Thank you.
If it's a blessing. Anyway, so before we start with anything new, we did some, I wouldn't say heavy stuff, boring for sure. We did a lot of stuff, a lot of talk about the cloud last class. It's only been a day in between, so hopefully some of it is still remembered. It's harder between Thursday and Tuesday. People are like, I don't know what you talked about. But between Tuesday and Thursday, hopefully some of it stayed. Any questions per se of what's been happening?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, what's up?
You talked and showed us the legacy contact.
Yes.
Now, I have a question. We've given our daughters paper copies of all of our passwords and all of that. Should I still do the legacy contact or not?
Oh yeah. Here's the thing. It's interesting. What I don't know, and I really don't know this answer. When someone passes away, there's a death certificate that exists. If no one tells Apple that you're passed away, can your daughter go in with your passwords and treat it like it's an active account? Or does Apple know? I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe that's a question to ask. Like, do you need to say this person passed away, or does that automatically get told to Apple through some system? Is that a personal thing you need to turn into places to say this person passed away? Or does the system know? I don't know. Anyone who has been through this, do you need to call the bank and say this person passed away? Do you need to call a credit card and say this person passed away? Or do they just know that you passed away because people get told?
I know our neighbor's husband died in December, and almost immediately Neptune Society did something, and Social Security knew within less than a week. It was right around Christmas time.
Yeah, so that's
So I know that Social Security is notified, and probably Medicare. I don't know about other things, but the bank knew, because
the
she
bank
could not
knew.
use the credit card because he was the primary on the credit card.
Okay, so
So
there you
yeah,
go.
there is
So
some
it seems like there's
notification.
some notification going. Does Apple get it too? I don't know.
I don't know.
So I wouldn't trust that, and I would just go ahead and
Okay,
do the legacy accounts because I know that
okay,
people have been, really, really devastated by having
yeah.
unable. Like I remember the story of this young I don't know 30-year-old guy who passed away in an accident, and the parents wanted to get some photos and things, and they were never able to get in anymore. If you don't give rights, it's a private account, and it's like they're not going to say, sure, you can now get into this person's private stuff, and they never did, right? So anyway, just consider that now. If they can get into your phone because your phones still work and you can see the photos that way, probably. I can't imagine the phone stops working, right? So I'm not sure of the details. I must admit, if anyone, hopefully no one, but if anyone goes through any of this with anyone you know, please let me know this stuff so that I can then pass it on. I think, Carol, I saw you doing like this. Like, do you have something that you might know about that?
Oh, I
Carol,
don't know related to computers, but a lot of places require a copy of the death certificate. And so you usually have to make like 12 copies and provide that when you go to these places, to the bank and everybody.
Yeah,
But now it's done electronically because our friends
Do they?
went to Neptune. They said you only really need 5 because the bank was notified electronically.
Okay.
Yeah, things have changed like that.
You have
But
more recent info then. Yeah.
yeah, that
In
was
fact,
December
When
22nd.
in fact, when we went the other day to that page, it did say something about that the people who want to get in, the legacy contact has to present the death certificate. But then how would they have known? I guess it's if they use that key. So anyway, I don't know if I don't know how quick the whole thing is that everything shuts down. I'm blessed maybe that I don't know that nothing happened to anyone close to me, but yeah, that's
Do you
my
think
my
Mac
my
Mechanic would have,
uninformed answer. My uninformed answer.
do you think Mac Mechanic would have that kind of answer if I contacted
They
them?
might, and I'm pretty sure that if you Google it, so if I Google, for example, does Apple know someone died and close the account automatically? I mean, that's all I can think of writing. I'm Googling that. And it just says,
Debbie, I'm going out, but I'm coming back.
I'm ready to leave, so I'll see
okay, hold on.
I'm gonna walk with Ling.
Yeah.
And then come back and get a couple more items.
Okay.
All right.
It says here that Apple requires a death certificate, so do they not get it? It basically says that Apple requires someone's death certificate. Here, let me just share it with you guys what I'm reading. So it means that maybe they don't know that. I think if you know the account, then they can keep entering in it. But the unfortunate, yeah, I don't. I'll have to read this whole thing. I don't want to sit reading it, but I think we can find out a lot about it online, and then yeah, maybe ask the people that which, by the way, now that you mentioned, oh, looks like Julie, who was asking the question, got dropped out again. She must be frozen again. Look at that.
I do know at the bank, if you have a joint account and your spouse passes on, hopefully it's called the legacy, and you can still get money out. If you have if it's a joint account.
Okay. Guys, I like to talk about what I know, and other than what you guys are telling me, I really don't know these things. I'll do some more research, but how about everyone get onto Google or ask people and find out if you know someone who passed away, which is kind of, a long enough time that it's not very present right now. You might ask them, how did you handle, things like online accounts, and maybe I'd be able to tell you. I don't know. I really don't. Sorry. I hope I don't experience it soon enough to know, but I will research and see if I can get back with that information because that's That's all I can do. So anyway, yeah. So I need to, oh, hold on one second. My husband and my son haven't had a chance to talk to you guys about our trip too much, but let me just say that right now my husband and my son are on the East Coast biking, the trip that I was biking before, and he's reaching out to me, but I think he's not aware of the 3 hours difference. And so I was just texting him that I'm teaching because they were asking me about Medicaid. Have you had it be that everyone highly intelligent in your family, yet you're still the family nurse when you're the mom? And they're like, can I
Mom's role.
son took some leave and can he now take ibuprofen? And I'm like, no, they counteract. You can take. And so I was having that conversation. So he's asking me a little bit more, and I'm like, I'm teaching. Just Jesus, guys, it's like I swear everyone's intelligent in this family, but like where things are. I was in Spain trudging through, and I get a text from my son. Where could I find? I'm like, ah. On the other hand, then and another time someone said, "Oh, no problem. I found it myself." And I felt this little like, "Oh, oh, I guess I'm less important now. You mean you don't need me anymore?" So both sides of it. Okay, so yes, Afra.
Good morning, Linda.
Morning, Afra.
I do not receive your email.
Huh.
Did you drop me?
Okay, well, let's see if I do not if you don't receive the email, then wondering. Give me a second to see if you're on my roster, which I believe you are, but let me do a quick a quick check to the roster because I am emailing the whole roster, but every now and then it could be that you're there. So you
Sometimes.
should be receiving the emails. I send it to your personal and to your school account. Let's see when we get into your pipeline account to see if you get it there.
Sometimes mail goes.
Email, Yahoo.
Yeah, it's possible since I send it. So there's 25 people in the class. I send it to 2 emails each, so that's 50 emails. And some email addresses, when they receive that, they think it's spam because they know that it's been sent to 50 people, and they might be sending it to your junk or your spam or your non-primary or something like that. So go check those other parts and places. Maybe Bob, since you work with him more one-on-one, can you help him check that kind of stuff?
Can you
Yes, I will.
you send my Gmail?
Yeah, well, I'm noticing here that your second email is a Gmail. Let me see again. Where are you? Here.
Gmail.
Oh no, it's a yahoo.com is what school has for you. I have a name I have your pipeline email or your yahoo.com email. So you need to change that in the school information. Let me take you to that. Everyone, please check that your school information is correct and let me tell you how to check. Because yeah, I can only email you to the email that you gave school, and if you changed it or you gave them the wrong one, that's where those emails are going. So let's head over to a browser, any browser, ideally Safari, because we're in the Mac class, but and then go ahead and write my.sbcc.edu. So I can give you the link in the chat, but if I do that, then you don't know how to do it yourself. And so that's always confusing to me. Now, like, why would I give you the link and then you don't know how to get in there yourselves? But if for any reason you need it, here's the link. I'm putting it in the chat. Whoa, that's a, hold on.
Just apragiti@gmail.com.
Yeah, but I can't change that. I cannot change that. I can temporarily change it right here, but that doesn't, and I'm going to do that since you just told me that, but I can't do that officially, meaning every time your roster starts, people will go and send it to you to what's on the
You always used to send to my Yahoo, but now I am not receiving. Anyway. I have
yeah.
to get-
So all I'm saying here, guys, let's enter. I was putting in the code. I was putting the hold on. I'm doing two things at the same time and I'm not paying attention. Here we go. Let me put in here. It's my dot sbcc.edu and it doesn't need to be uppercase. I'm making it uppercase in the chat so you can read it well. But it's just with, see, my.sbcc.edu. So two dots in the middle, and then you get to this page. So everyone, can you please do that? My.sbcc.edu. And then when you sign into this, for you guys, it'll say student stuff, not employee nor faculty. But as soon as you scroll down, the first choice here will be my information. Diana Musacchio, my school email, and my K number. But if you go to view update personal information, which I won't do right now, or you will see my personal information, but you click on this on your own and it'll be your information. And please update any emails there, Afra. Go ahead and in that place, you get to put your new email. Then next time that I download a roster, it'll have your correct email. Otherwise, each time it'll come down with Yahoo, which is what it did this time, and I will be sending it to Yahoo. Does that make sense? I won't remember to change it all the time. Got it?
Okay, thank you.
Because, and any other teacher needs to see it. Like the list that I have, each class, it changes. Like right now, I changed it in my list, the one that I then email from. So you'll be fine for 1 more week, 2 more weeks. And then Mac level 1 will start and you will again be sending it to Yahoo because that's what will come down in the new roster. So you need to change it right here in the view and update personal information. Does that make sense? Of your own. When you click on that, it'll give you, did everyone find it? Give me a yes if you were able to get to my.sbcc and you were able to see your information. And if not, I'm happy to help, share the screen and I will show you how to do it. Okay, so I need to see yeses everywhere or no's. And if it's a no, I'll give you a hand to get here. All right. And Kate, remember that the thumbs up that you're giving me disappears in a couple of seconds and then it'll look like you didn't answer. So see, already it's gone. So can you go and see if you can find the green check mark that stays on? I happen to see it, but if I had been looking the other way, I would have then thought that you didn't answer because the thumbs up doesn't stay for long. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So Georgia.
I did. I don't know. I'm sorry. I just,
How to get into here?
yeah, no, I'm in there, but it only shows the pipeline address. So can I add my personal?
Definitely.
Mail
Yeah,
on?
when I go to the roster, I only see your pipeline address because that's all you gave the school. So I can only email you to your school email. If you add your personal one, then my emails will go also to your personal email.
Okay, all right. So I'll do that. I'll update.
Yeah, so that's a great question. If you go in there and you see that either it's an old email that you don't use anymore, or that you only have, like you didn't put your personal email there, then, and I have rosters like that when I look at the email and I can even tell you whose they are, like for example, well, in this class, most people have a personal email.
I do have it and it says preferred.
It says it. I see you do have a personal email there. It's a Gmail.
Yeah.
And are
So,
you getting my email and it's not there?
well, wait, say that again?
Well,
No,
yeah.
yeah, it says that. It says georgiasargent@gmail.com preferred.
Yeah.
But
But
it doesn't show on the dashboard.
no, on the dashboard, it shouldn't.
Oh,
On
okay.
the dashboard, you will only see the pipeline one. And let
All
me explain why when you wrote preferred, but let me explain why you don't see it up here. This is the information that's public. Everyone, this is not private information. That's why everyone has it. I'll show, when we get to the mail program and contacts program, you'll see that anyone here can look up the pipeline email of anyone else as long as they know their name, because it's a school directory. As a student, this is your email and it's findable because it's your username. People use it. The what's kept private is your personal information. So even though you said preferred, the school in general cannot email you to your private email address. It's a whole like FERPA regulation. School has to directly inform you of anything only through your school email. There's
Okay.
one exception made to non-credit teachers. We have been up in arms over that because many non-credit students do not know how to go check their pipeline email. And we would tell them the class time and schedule, and they'd think, well, you never emailed me. So non-credit got a special dispensation, which they could revoke any time. So you still need to know how to get to your pipeline addresses. But at this point, the new president okayed it again. Every time that someone new comes, they have to okay it again because we can email you guys just to tell you about the class. Like the class is starting. Here's the Zoom link, that kind of stuff. But if you have any like, well, we don't have grading, but if say that you would go, you didn't pass me and I know the stuff, or I didn't get a good degree, and all of that has to be held through the pipeline channels. Like there's nothing we can do to talk about the class that like I will never email you from my personal address because that would be breaking the FERPA rules. And the only time we can email you guys to your personal ones is to tell you that this is the class link, the class is starting. Does that make sense? So you will not hear me see me emailing you from my personal address nor to your personal address about anything other than class information, like how to get there. But any issue you have with anyone at school, any issue of people that are happening, all of that has to happen through the official channels. So even though you said my personal information is my preferred one, you won't have anyone other than your teacher emailing you to that email. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I'm saying that so that everyone understands. That's why we need people to know how to get to their pipeline accounts. All right.
How do, now I'm there and it says submit, but I'm not actually making a change.
Then just leave it. Or if you didn't make a change, you can still say submit to leave it and it won't change because you didn't make a change.
All right.
So no problem. Okay. Anyone else who needs help with that? Did you all get in there? Rodney,
Yep.
Carol, Julie. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, every now and then I'll have a student who didn't give a personal email, and then the only place they get the information is pipeline, and that is pretty typical of the credit students who only want to hear from the school in their school email. But for non-credit, it makes much more sense to put in your personal one there. All right, great. Thanks for asking that. And I'm glad if everyone got to do it. And see, this dashboard thing that they did, it's got to get accustomed to it. But it is easier to do these things. Before you had to go into like 3 different submenus to find where to add your information. Now it's right there. People were like, I don't know how to find my K number. Now it's right there. That's your K number, which is basically your account for your account name. Like we're saying the Apple ID account name. Well, the K number is your account name, so to say. There might be 3 different Sue Wards taking classes, and yet you are Sue Ward, K number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That is you and not the other Sue Ward. Does that make sense? So yeah, that's your account number, so to say. Okay. All right. So I keep hearing people who are popping in and out. I think someone must have a very loose connection. Whenever I hear the ding, like the doorbell, and they're not coming in, then that means that they're popping out. So hopefully, whenever they come back in, hopefully the connection is stable. I'm not getting a warning from my side that it's bad, so it looks like from here it's good. Let me look and see. Yeah, looks like I have a strong connection here, so I'm fine. Okay. All right. So, did anyone do any more research? There it was. It was Afra because he's coming in again. I'm not sure what's up, but I will. So Afra, you keep popping in and out. Is it a bad connection or what's happening?
I don't know. No, I
some, okay.
Download again.
All right, there you go. You're here again, so that's fine. All right. So just as a reminder, if you are in the class handouts, if you haven't been able to get to the class handouts to find the links and stuff like that, oh, let me clear your answers, then give me a no. If you have been able to find the handouts and you're good with that, give me a yes.
What, why? Oh, the studio.
Okay, so I just put in the chat again, a link.
You'll see lots of people.
So it's a video that shows you how to access the handouts using the portal my.sbcc. Since you won't have this link, I mean, I've emailed it to you a few times, but go ahead right now and go to this link that I just put in the chat. I'll put it in there one more time. Go click on it so that it opens up. It'll open up somewhere in the background of your computer. And then when you're not in class, you can click on it and watch it again. Okay. Now, is there anyone who hasn't answered? Carol Sauceda, I haven't seen an answer. Rodney, do you guys know how to get to the class handouts?
I just went to the chat. Where do I go?
There's here, let me put another link right there. Do you see a little blue thing that I just put in there with an underline? That's the link.
Is it on the bottom line,
Yes, on the bottom line.
all the way to the right?
Just click on that line that says HTTPS. Just, do you see it?
On the very bottom line?
Yeah, the very bottom line of the chat.
No, you have to be on the chat.
Right there.
To be on the chat, okay.
Yeah.
Everyone, is that it? Diane Machado?
Yeah.
Is that
Okay.
right? Okay, yeah.
No.
No?
I don't know.
don't
You
need-
should let me put it in one more time because now that she's there to help you. There, I'm sending
Okay.
it one more time. Do you see something up here in there that's a link?
Go back to the chat. The chat.
Okay, I went back to the chat. Mhm.
Okay. And at the bottom, I've pasted it 3 times, so you should see 3 of the same things at the very bottom.
At the very bottom. Yeah,
Hey, I'm going to show you how to get to the class handouts. There's that video. Stop the video. Different systems over the years of how to get to the class handouts and right now. Stop the video. There we go. So that video explains how to get to the class. I'm going to show you how to get to the class. Okay, I muted you so that I can talk to you. Stop it, leave it there, and then when I'm not in class, you can watch it and you can, maybe you guys can bookmark it or something just so that you can, and in the email that I sent last week, I sent this video. I'm happy to send it again. It just, you watch it a few times and you practice it and then you finally know how to get into the class handouts. Okay, you guys?
Okay, thank
All right. Because it's the kind of stuff that even if I show it to you once again now, it's just enough steps that you will maybe forget again. So the video helps. Now, if you can learn how to bookmark something or to keep it available, or as I said, keep my email around, and in my email, that video is there. Okay? All right. The email that I sent last week, let me see what it was called, if you need to find, and I could try and send it one more time. Here, you know what? Let me do that. I will send it one more time. Here's a video for how to get to the handouts. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to send this video to the whole class. It's just a video link. That's all it is. It's nothing, no chattiness, just a video link. And I will send it out right now. And some of you guys don't need it. Some of you guys do. But there it is. And I just press send. So in case of not being able to find it or anything, and there you go. Oh my goodness. Okay. Um, you don't know. I just got a message from YouTube that they took one of my videos down. Whenever I show personal information, they think that it's harassment. And and it is people divulging other people's personal information online in a video is harassment, because then people can target them and start bullying them or go to their homes and stuff like that. But they did it to my Illustrator video where I show zero personal information. So I don't know what that's all about. It does happen here to the Mac classes. For example, right now I was sharing the screen with my email address there, my information. It wasn't even my personal information, but YouTube doesn't know that. And if they catch that, I will put the video online and they will say that there's harassment in that video. So then I'll have to give you a link that goes through Zoom, and it only lasts 2 weeks. And I hate that, but yeah, that's the way it is. Okay. That's why I can't show you roster. I mean, I wouldn't show you rosters or anything anyway, but that gets recorded and then YouTube sees it. All right, I'm seeing now a couple of different X's. Is that Carol? What's that about? Like the class handouts or what?
Yeah, last time you showed me that I wasn't in on the right email, that it wasn't on Pipeline. And I might be happening again because I can't get to the handouts.
Okay, can you share your screen? So let's see what's happening. Okay, so no, this is okay. So this is I got it. Let me just get my pencil here to mark what to do next. You
Okay.
are fine. You're in the right email, except for that you went to a place that says shared with me or Google Drive, but it doesn't give you access to the shared drives. This is your Google Drive because you went to this place called resources. So go, let's change where you go to. Go from here. Go to this place that says Gmail, and let me go here to the Gmail. Yep. There we go. And now go in here to your drive. Right there. There it is. And that gives you access to the entire
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
place where you went only gives you access to your personal drive, but it doesn't give you access to this one, the shared drives.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
it makes no sense to me. So go ahead and click on shared drives and then you can get to it. Makes no sense to me why they did that, why they have that, and I've asked the people to fix it and they haven't. So the Google Drive link, and there you go. So you're there. So I'm going to stop your
Yeah,
share.
okay, thank you.
See what basically what it would make sense. Hold on, I'm getting my, it would make sense that in the dashboard over here, if you go to resources, or if you scroll down, it says email and drive, that this is where you went. That
Right.
if you click on drive over here, that this would be the Google Drive. But it's only your personal drive. It's not the drive that the teachers use. So I'm like, why? And then if you go here where you went to resources, again, it takes you to just the Google Drive that's your personal drive. It doesn't let me get to the real drive. So the only way is either tricking it by going through the Gmail and then to that drive. So that's it. It's just 2 steps versus 1. It's not so bad, but you wouldn't know it. Or, and this I'm just saying for people who want to have a different version, because yesterday there was a student in another class who didn't have the Gmail in this same link. So then you have to go all the way down to student resources menu and then to essential resources, which is so hidden, and then hidden resources, then you go straight to the Google Drive. It's like 10 steps. It makes no sense to me. I've tried to talk them into this, but right now that's the way to go. Then you're in your actual Google Drive again. So
That's so much easier before.
it was. So now we need to figure out when they, yeah, I guess they don't think that they need to get to shared drives, which makes no sense. But anyway, the whole point of a shared drive is we teachers giving you guys stuff. So I don't know why they wouldn't have included it. But anyway,
Thank you.
so that's the process. Okay. Sue,
Yes, are you getting my green checks for yes?
Yes, I am.
Not showing up on my computers that in the little box up there. So I
Oh,
just
well,
did,
right now you don't have it on because you raised your hand, so
Right.
it exchanged, but go ahead and do the green check and you'll see that it's there.
okay.
Go ahead and change it to a green check. I will lower your hand right now. And yeah, go ahead and do a green check. You'll see it. But it's just happening on the one that's your second computer, not on the one that's over your face, but it's happening on the one that's your second computer.
You can see it.
It's
I,
there.
I'm
I
not doing it on my,
You're not doing it on the one
doing
that
it
I'm
with my
looking, you're doing
iPad.
on the other one, and I see it there. It's fine. I know
Okay.
to look down there. Yeah. Okay,
Can you
great.
turn it off or do I turn it? I don't know how to turn it off.
I'm going to clear everyone's feedback right now. There we go. And now I'm done. Now everyone's off. All right. So while we were at that, I was wanting to make sure that everyone got remembered what we had done last class. So here's the meeting summary, okay, for last class. And we basically, I wanted to make sure that you knew how to get to this, because here under next steps, it tells you what you should do during the week. Or in this case, between Thursday and Tuesday. And sometimes it's also a bit of a review of what we did. But basically, the one thing I wanted to repeat is that next Tuesday, registration starts for the fall semester. So if you guys have not yet signed up for the Mac Level 1 or Mac Level 2 classes, then it can become kind of confusing that you might be signing up to the fall ones and stuff like that. So let me just actually, I can help out with that. Let me go to here. There's something I can do about that. I can show you the roster for Mac Level 1 and Mac Level 2 and make sure that you guys, if you want to take them. Now, the class, when this one ends next week, we have two more. We have this week and next week, and then we start with Mac Level 1 and then with Mac. So listen, today is Thursday, July 3rd. Next week, the 8th and the 10th, we still have, no, only the 8th is intro to the Mac. So Tuesday. But by Thursday, it's the first day of Mac Level 1. So if this is Mac Level 2, this is Mac Level 1. So if your name is not here, let me make it a bit bigger. Let me see. If your name is not on this list, by next Thursday, you will not be able to take a class with me. So look for your name. And if you don't see it, and I'm seeing quite a few people who are not on this list, then please sign up. This is Mac Level 1.
What's the CRN number?
The CRN is 80515. So here we go. Let me put it in there. CRN 80515, Mac Level 1. And there it is. I just put it in the chat. Okay. So anyone else who does not see themselves here, for example, Afra, you're not here, and then you'll wonder why I don't email you because you're not here, et cetera, et cetera. So just look at yourselves, your names. And if you're not here, you need to sign up to Mac Level 1. And now I'm going to show you Mac Level 2. Here's Mac Level 2. If your name is not here, Gwiti, Afra Gwiti, you are in Mac Level 2, but not in Mac Level 1, for example. So if
Yeah,
you are not in Mac Level 2, then the CRN for Mac Level 2 is, I just wrote it, okay? So that's your, here, let me do this. I'm going to, I guess I can leave this open if you need to see it again later, but yeah, this is Mac Level 2. If your name is there, you're good. And this again is Mac Level 1, which is the one that starts next Thursday. There's still time for the other one because, you know, it'll be six weeks later or 3 weeks later. But this is on Thursday. All right. Yes. Georgia. No, who? Yeah, Georgia.
Georgia. I have a friend who who needs to learn how to use Mac computers and is not familiar, may I personally show her a couple of the class recordings of our class recordings so she so she won't be too crazy if she starts Mac level 1?
Well, the direct answer is no. I can't stop you from doing whatever you do, but the answer is no. Let me explain mainly why. I am promising everyone that these videos are private, that the only people who can go to see these are the people who are in the class, because this is on YouTube. And if you give it to her and then they pass it on, like you lose control of it. I know you'll say no, she won't do that, whatever, but I'm just saying.
To give it to her, I
That's-
need to invite her over and let her watch.
Oh, okay. Invite her over to your house, let her watch, and you explain things to her so that she's not so lost. That would be absolutely perfect, in fact, right? Because then I'm thinking if you just throw someone into a video that they haven't been to that class, right? It's still kind of intimidating, like a tutorial. When you don't know what's happening, it still seems like, oh, what's she talking about? The cloud, versus you get to ask me questions back and forth. So it's not as intimidating as imagine if you were just to hear everything I taught you last week with no back and forth, where you couldn't say, well, how come? And how, well, let me see. And so the video itself, when you rewatch it, makes sense because you were here, but you watch it without being here, it's a bit harder to follow. But if you are there and stop it and explain, and then she feels better about it, and she sees how it works, and she sees that I check in, and then she's like, oh, okay, I think I can do this, then sure, that is fine with me. And again, I wouldn't necessarily be able to stop anyone from sharing anything. It's my request that people don't. But you can still do that. But if you want to have her over and kind of gently introduce her to how it works, that would be absolutely perfect way to bring more people. We need, guys, we need more people in these classes. These classes are foundering, and these are community classes. They need to be able to have enough students to make them go. A lot of classes canceled in summer. So if you have friends like Georgia has, family, relative, neighbors that you see that they need help, you see them pick up their phone and they struggle, tell them, hey, I'm taking these great classes, and bring them into the fold, because if we don't get any more classes, they're going to stop. They really will stop. They can't operate at a loss. And if I don't have 20 students, they can't run the class. They make a few exceptions here and there for like 17, but 10 days ago, I had 8 students. Before I send you guys that email saying urgent, please sign up, that class would have been canceled. And then it's a service, I think, that you won't find anywhere else. So please spread the word. Whenever I say spread the word, I mean it. Like tell people about these. Okay. Thank you for doing that, Georgia. And yeah, if what you need to do is send a link, that's fine. But I think that sending a link is might be counterproductive, because people not being part of it might feel intimidated by, oh, she's talking about all these complicated things and I don't even know what we're talking about. But it
I
does
didn't
start slowly.
mean to send her. I just meant to bring her.
I hear you. I hear you. No, that's the
Over
best.
the first class and see whether that would give her first, because they're fairly long classes.
They
So
are. Yeah. And the good news is you can tell them, listen, if it's too long and too long for you to sit, you can attend the first half and then watch the recording the second half. If they're part of the class, that would work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, we do our best, and these are not as long. In fact, sometimes we get like 4-hour sessions. This one's only 3, but yeah, they're getting each time they program a different schedule. But thank you for wanting to spread the word. I got it that you're going to bring her to your house, but since I'm inviting people to spread the word, I'm saying be careful with spreading the word by just giving a link, because imagine yourself suddenly receiving a link of a class like this without having been kind of cushioned into it, and it can still feel like, oh, I can't do that class or something like that, right? Especially when at the beginning they see people who are having issues with Zoom, the first class, and they're like, oh, see, I will have issues with Zoom. So suddenly that whole first half hour, they go, oh, this is going to be really hard, because that's the half hour that I'm spending dealing with Zoom, and move it to the half. And so of all videos, I would recommend starting with class number 2. and not class number one, because that one, I always say the hardest class is class number one when I'm trying to get everyone on to the system. You know what I mean? Anyway,
I think she's taken Zoom. She at least she participates in some Zoom meetings and so on,
wonderful.
watches things, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I'll try number
Bring more people into the fold. We all non-credit teachers would appreciate that. Yes, Julie?
I just want to add to what you're saying. People anywhere in the state of California can take your classes, so people shouldn't think that it's only their friends who live in the Santa Barbara, Goleta, Carp area.
Mhm.
So if you have friends who live in San Francisco, they can sign up for the class too.
Yeah,
So
yeah. In fact, there's quite a few people. I don't know here, but in my classes, is anyone here from out of town?
Me.
Okay,
I'm-
Maysan. Yeah, I think yeah. Some people in my design classes, I have people from all over. But yeah, and I have a couple who travels half the year. But as long as you have an address and you know, in Santa Barbara, and that even if you're, sometimes they join me from Brazil, sometimes they join me from Canada, sometimes they join me from Switzerland, and sometimes they join me from here. So you can be wherever you are and join. Just as a student, to register and get the classes for free, you need to have a residence in California.
yeah, so that should help expand your base.
Thank you. Yes, it is exactly. So friends anywhere in California, you can say, hey, you, my friend from San Francisco, here, take this class with me. So you can even see your friends in class. All right, Afra? Your hand is up, Afra. Do you have a question? I think you're frozen again because you look frozen. So I have a feeling that you are frozen and you're about to drop out again. I don't know what's happening with you, Afra, that it keeps dropping. Yep. He dropped.
Had a problem outside my house.
Here he is. He's moving now.
He's moving. Okay, Afra, you had your hand up.
Yes, as you notice, I am not on level 1. So can you kindly add my name, or I have to register myself?
Oh, I wish. I know. Can you know how much easier my life would be if I could register people? I can do nothing around that, which of
Okay.
course, because then
That's fine.
it's
Take care of
teachers
that.
could- it is absolutely, not only is it forbidden, I just don't have the means. I don't have your information, your anything to send in and say, please
Okay,
register.
I will take care of that. Thank you. Thank you. I will take care of that.
It's a
Thank
person.
you.
How easy would it be if I could just register you all, right? Can't do that. Yes, Maysan?
I just need a schedule because maybe you can show me. I register, but it didn't show the start day and the time. So where I can find that information from the
Oh,
website.
okay. So let me show you that in the dashboard, okay?
Mm-hmm.
To the student dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, you have the class search.
Oh, class search. Okay.
You do the class search. Make sure that it defaults always to credit, and in this case to fall. So click on summer 2025,
Uh-huh.
non-credit, and this is the one that people forget, say select.
Okay.
And the whole thing shifts, and now it's only giving you the summer 2025 non-credit select.
Mm.
Then you can, I always say the easiest thing is to look for the instructor. So
Mm.
you can go over here where it says all,
Mm-hmm.
click on that word, and then start writing my last name, Musa, and
Mm.
there I come up.
Mm.
Otherwise, you can scroll up and down to find my name, and
Okay.
then you hit the search.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a few steps, but this gets you my classes. Of course, you can do that to any other instructor you know, but if you don't know them, then it's a bit harder. But anyway, so the schedule
Perfect.
is exactly the same. It's 9 to 12:35, and it starts next Thursday, and it goes for 6 classes. This one is 6 classes, this one is 6 classes, and then when that one's over, Mac Level 2 starts at exactly the same time, and it starts July 29th till August 12th. So basically it's 6 classes each, so 6, 6, and 6.
Mm. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh,
You're-
also, you can find out if you are registered.
Oh, yeah. And I can't do it because I'm not registered, but if someone can share their screen and I'll show you how to find out if you are registered. You don't need to just wait for me. Can someone who's kind of in the dashboard share their screen for a second? Is
I can,
anyone looking at their dashboard right now?
I can share the screen.
Georgia? So let's open your dashboard and yeah, so let's go back to the main dashboard, which you will find kind of scrolling up here. Yeah, keep scrolling up.
All right.
The
Dash,
dashboard is the first page. Perfect.
Yeah.
And then when you go to class registration and schedule, go ahead and click on that. And then
where's class registration and
okay, can you back up one, please, Georgia?
over? Okay. At the top, up by the, where? Oh, okay, class reg,
Wait, no, hold on, go back. Go
Mhm.
back.
yeah,
So when you click, when you hover over it, it gives you choices that you can go up and down. So show that again. Move your mouse out. So we don't click when you click on class registration, just hover over it. And
Okay.
then you can go up and down, right? And
Right.
one of the third one is my class schedule and bill.
yes.
And when you click on that one, oh, I guess you had signed it. When you don't use it for like 15 minutes, it signs you out. So you need to sign in again, but that's okay. It's just, okay. And so for what term, right now it's in fall. So you tell it my registration for summer, and then you hit submit. And here it tells you all the classes you're signed in for.
Yeah, and that gives the, if you haven't seen this before, I wish that they
By
did,
the way, this tells you, Mason, the time of day, the days, the class. So, and you know,
Yeah, that's perfect.
yeah, and that'll tell you everything you're signed up for
Mhm.
at our city college.
The way I
Mhm.
see it, someone's taking an amazingly good advantage of this incredible system that we have of free classes. Look at that. It's incredible. Thank you, Georgia, for participating in all of our.
Well, I usually take art classes, but I have a new Mac. It doesn't behave like my old one.
Yeah.
So I thought I better go to ground zero because it jumps around and it does things that just startle the hell out of me. And
And the thing too is that a lot of the art students don't think of the computer classes. So those of you, I know Julie, quite a few of you guys are in art classes. Please tell you the people in your art classes because they're like, oh, I'm an artist. I don't do computer art, but it's not about computer art. It's about knowing how to get around in your day to day. And by the way, in my Photoshop Illustrator classes, I have a lot of artists who also have to want to figure out what else is happening. Like how many of you do oil painting and you want to reproduce that well or a sculpture or something and you want to know how to show that online or to send it to people who want to send it to galleries and stuff. You need to be able to know how to put that all online. So, you know, artists need to know how to use the computer as well. So those of you who are in all those art classes and stuff, please let your people around you know that the computer classes are. And by the way, for those of you who like hands-on, as of the fall, I will be there in person for the hands-on class. Some people are intimidated by Zoom, but all right, enough of that. But it's all really important conversation to have because the classes are faltering. I am having to beg for students, and I used to have waiting lists, you guys. So the word needs to be spread again that the classes are up and running, or we'll be in trouble. We went from waiting lists to please take my class, which you know something's wrong there. All
you
right.
know, well, they used to send they used to mail out the catalog to everybody in Santa Barbara, and they don't anymore. They only send it to people who have been taking classes.
Yeah, it is
That
true.
means it's going to go down.
It is. Well, the thing is that it's one of the most expensive thing ever that the whole school spends on is on these catalogs, and they decided one day to save money because everyone's online and to not send it anymore. And so for like 1 year or 2 sessions, we didn't send it, and it was a disaster. people were like, where's the catalog, whatever. So then when they started sending it again, they're trying to target it because it's so expensive to people who take classes. But you are right. Then how do the rest? But also, do you want all that junk mail with people who don't take it? It's hard. It's hard. But yes, if you have a catalog lying around when you go in person, pick 2 or 3 and hand them to your friends, people who might not be getting it because they haven't taken classes. Please hand them catalogs and say, look at all these amazing classes. They're all free. Here, I brought you a gift, together with the snack you bring to the potluck, bring catalogs, put a little pile there. When you go to your church meetings or your Toastmaster meetings or all that stuff, just bring catalogs or spread the word. All right, enough of that. Thank you for bringing up this conversation. It's pretty crucial for us to get students, or we don't have the classes. So it's up to the people who take the classes to spread the word. I can only email all you guys to say sign up. I can't email the new people that I don't know because I don't know who they are to tell them take the class. I can only email my past students, and that's what happens with the catalogs. They go to the past students. So yes, it is an insular kind of system. All right.
My label said resident this time. Usually it has my name. So maybe they're beginning to expand. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going to ask at our next meeting. I'm going to bring this up and find out who they're targeting. But yeah, I don't know. I know that they were targeting past students, but maybe they're expanding. I don't know. All right. So, yeah.
I have 2 questions. Number 1, can you give me a real quick rundown on what you cover in level 2? Because I didn't sign up for it because I thought I really needed to take one and
yeah, the words level are really confusing. So we're changing those names now because it's not like you need to be better enough to take level 2. It's what I teach in each one. So in this class, it's that the basic, like the operating system, the cloud, like how the computer works. We're going to spend much more time just on the basics of how the computer works today, in fact. Then on Mac level 1, it's all about file management and handling and where the stuff is and what to do. And then on Mac level 2, it's how to work the apps that are there, like the calendar, the notes, the Safari, the contacts, how to transfer all that information from phone to computer to Dash. So it's the apps that come installed on the computer. The photos.
And the backups.
iLife class, the backups, how to make backups to not lose anything from your computer. Yeah. And then in the iLife class, which doesn't say level anything, and it has a weird name, that's all the photos part of the computer, of the Mac, all the photos that you take and how to handle them, how to store them, how to edit them, how to share them and stuff like that.
Okay,
So
the second question is, if I sent a catalog to my sister in Arizona and she wanted to enroll, can she use my address?
No.
No, okay.
Of course not.
But who's going to tell? Who's going to tell?
Got it.
Anyway, all right, there you go. I hope you understood my answer. Okay, let's continue, guys.
She comes to visit, that's good.
Yes.
We're not going to tell. We never heard that.
Right.
I didn't hear your question.
I didn't give you her name, so you wouldn't know.
No, I don't know who she is, and I would never say yes to that. Okay. I'm sorry. It's funny because this is all being recorded, so it's like, okay. Let's continue with school. Here we go. I'm going to share my screen, and let's go ahead and get going. Basically, and let me clarify that a little bit. The state of California is what pays for these classes. And so it's your tax, it's what you do for living here and the taxes that you pay that pay for these classes, which is why these are directed towards the state of California residents. But anyway, so that's basically why you get a right to these classes, because you live here and you pay for them in a way, indirectly, by paying your taxes. You're paying for this class. So anyway, as much as you pay for the streets and everything else, part of it goes into the budget for education. All right, so here we go. I'm sharing my screen, and today we're going to keep learning a bit more about how to make the computer work. Remember, at the end of the class, I had you guys open a bunch of different applications, and it was a bit of a mess. Remember, like you had tons of open stuff, and I said, well, you can move them in and out of your screen by these three systems. So who can remember what these three systems were? So if I have, and everyone, let's go ahead and do that. Let's open a bunch of different things. I'm going to open Safari. I'm going to open my calendar. I'm going to open my contacts. I'm going to open my notes. I'm going to open my reminders. I'm going to open a little calculator. So I've opened like 5 or 6 things. And how do I know they're open? Because see these little dots in the bottom? That shows me that they're all up and running, and they're all sitting in my computer somewhere. In fact, here's my calendar. So they're hiding each other. And so this is review, but for those of you who didn't do it, please do it this time. Open at least 3 things. If more than that is confusing. And who wants to tell me what the first solution was? And I think some of you use this one a lot. Does anyone remember about minimizing?
Yeah, I'm doing it with your Zoom at the moment.
Okay, I'm minimizing my Zoom because you're seeing me on another one. Perfect. So minimizing is going to that yellow dot. Perfect. Thanks, Carol. So I'm going to go to this yellow dot, and when I minimize this one, it kind of went down there and it's sitting there. And when I want it again, I click on it and it opens up again. So everyone go ahead and minimize something and then go find it and open it up again. So if you minimize everything, if I minimize every single thing that I've got open here, minimize, 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 minimize. I've got the zoom in the way for this one there, minimize. Next thing you know, oh, minimize the calculator. Next thing you know, my screen is clear, right? Does that work? Is that a good idea? If you did it, please do it. If you haven't done it, please do it. And then tell me about it.
It works for me, but I gathered from last week's class that you don't consider it a very good option.
I don't not consider it. This is what we've done for 20 years. It's a great option. The only problem is when you get to the point that there's so many things here that
Yeah.
my recommendation is to not have 25 things open. So that's in that sense, if you have 25 things open, it can get really harsh to navigate through 25 things here and figure out which one you need. But on the other hand, it's a perfect way to do it. I recommend that if you look at this and you go, oh my God, I wasn't using that program. Why is it still open? That you bring it up again and that you actually quit that program. So we're going to quit some. First, I want everyone to see how to actually navigate amongst of open programs. But if you have like little black dots under everything, that means that you have way too many programs open. How many of you guys use like more than 2 or 3 apps a day, right? So maybe you do. So what kind of apps do you all use all the time? Let me just tell you what I use all the time. I use Safari, so that one's usually open all the time. I use my calendar because I need to see what's happening during that day, my schedules, my stuff. So those 2 are open. I use my email, right? So those 3 are open all the time, email, calendar, and Safari. But other than that, I use my notes a lot, but when I take a note, I open it and then I close it. I don't need it to sit there open all the time because, you know, I'm not checking my notes all the time. Now, if I'm in the middle of needing to check a note, like if I have a recipe in my notes and I'm making that recipe, I'll leave the notes open while I'm making that recipe and then I'll close the note tab. I need the calculator. I open it, I calculate something, I put it away. Why do I need it to be open all the time? I use Zoom, but I use Zoom when I'm teaching. The rest of the time I can close it. So what I'm saying is it's fine to open and close, but you don't need to keep them open all the time. It's like you walk into some people's cupboard kitchen and you see all the cupboards open all the time. That's this. It's like all the drawers open, everything ready to go. Well, how hard is it to just open the drawer when you need it? Close the closet, you know? So that's really the equivalent. Having everything over here is having all your cupboards open. Anyway, is it bad? No, it's just a bit harder to find the one that you need. If you use only one of these and the rest are just open with nothing, close them because then it's easier to find the one you need. That's just a suggestion. But Georgia, if I made it sound like it's a bad idea, it's not a bad idea. It's just bad when the other day someone shared their screen and they literally had 45. It was down to here of how many open things they had. And I was like, how do you find the one you need? Right? Because they don't even have an icon that very clearly tells you this is notes. It's just lots of little things. And so that's when I went, there's a limit to how good that is. You just shouldn't have 2,500 things open. That's all. But it's a great idea. It works. And when I need it now, guys, so hopefully everyone minimized all the stuff they opened. Then when you need it, you just go over here and you just click on it and it pops up. And when you don't need it anymore, you minimize it. But if you're, this is my contacts, right? Do I need my contacts open all the time? Am I calling people all the time? Well, maybe that's my job. Maybe my job is connecting and talking to people. I'm someone who raises funds or whatever, then sure, my contacts will be open all the time. But if I just need it now and then I don't need my contacts open all the time. That was all I was trying to explain. So thanks for saying that, Georgia. I really appreciate people piping up and saying what they think, because then that helps me clarify my message. All right. This is a
Whether
great
it
system.
slowed down the computer to have everything open.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't, here's the thing. When you buy a computer, you buy it with a certain number of RAM. And if you've heard that word before, and if you've never heard about it, let me just say, all you need to know is what it does. It helps more apps work at the same time. It doesn't make your computer faster or slower to have more RAM per se. It's just that if you have more RAM, then you can have more applications open at the same time and it won't affect the speed. But when you don't have too much RAM and you have 5 applications open and it begins to slow down, and then you have 10 open, then it really slows down a bit more because the computer has to keep everything running as if it was always on full. Does that make sense? So if you close them, what you get is a computer that works better. A computer that if at all it's slowing down, just close your apps and use them 1 or 2 at a time. And your computer, you don't need to go buy a new computer with more RAM. You just close your apps and it works better. Does that make sense? So instead of buying a new computer, close your apps. Quite a bit of money savings, isn't that? All right. So now, who was able to open at least 3 to 5 apps and then minimize them? This is called minimizing, using the yellow thing. If so, give me a yes. If no, or if you couldn't figure it out, or if you need some help, give me a no.
I don't know how to get you.
Know how to what?
Can you hear me, Deanna?
I can hear you, Jennifer.
Oh, good. I don't know. I don't know how to talk to you right now. I can't find the chat or the.
You're talking to me. I can hear you. Go for it.
Okay. I don't. This is a stupid question, but I don't know how to shut these down. I've got the dots. I want to get rid of them, but I don't know how to minimize, I think you called it.
We're going to do it next. But first of all, if you have a dot open, thus, if you click on Safari and it opens, minimize, which is not shut them down. It's just minimizing them, happens by going to this yellow button on the top. There's red, yellow, and green. The yellow one, you click on it and it minimizes. And it's okay that you don't know this, Jennifer, because you weren't here last class, and last class is when I taught. So please speak up, right? And say what you need, which you did.
Whoops, I thought I did it, but it doesn't seem to have happened. So I went into Chrome and I went up to the yellow dot.
Yeah.
And nothing happened. Well, it looked like it disappeared, but it's still on my, what do you call that thing at the bottom?
Exactly. It shouldn't disappear. It should go and put itself away right here.
It did that.
To the left of your trash. And it's still open. And that's all we've done. We haven't closed these programs yet. We're just talking about if they are open, get them out of the way. That's what we're doing. We have not gotten rid of the app yet because I need to show you a different way of doing this. And then I will show you how to quit the apps. Okay?
Okay. Thanks.
So now we have all these apps open. I'm seeing yeses on a lot of places. I'm not seeing yeses for everyone. So Carol, Rod, Maysan, how's it going for you guys? Were you able to open an app?
I saw I put a yes there.
Okay, yes to Maysan. Carol Gear, Rodney, can you open an app? And then click on this little yellow button to minimize it. Open an app and minimize it. That's all we're doing right now. Opening the app and minimizing it. Okay, Yolanda?
Diana, so because I will not remember what I close, I just hit the something to close it and then open it. But what is troubling me though is that they are so big. This what do you call this app or something that it kind of like overwhelms what I need to see on the board. How do I minimize this? I'm sorry, I got sick, and so my brain is not really functioning. But
So when
like
you
if I wanted to see my see that, can you see? Oh, let me see. How do I show it to you?
let me stop my share and you can share with me. But right now, any I'm gonna stop my share. Go ahead and share your screen. Any app that's on the screen, because sometimes something weird is happening and I need to see it. But if nothing weird is happening, then any app you open, you can minimize but with a yellow dot. So Yolanda, you can share your screen now. It's remember it's share and then share again. So click the share button and then the second share button is at the bottom.
I'm
First,
sorry.
the green share button first.
Green share button. Let me just see where the green share button. Oh, there it is. Share.
Then,
And then
one
share again.
there we go.
Okay. So see that this is too big for me because I cannot see what's
Got
in
it. Yeah. So that's the fact, that's something we did last week, and I'm going to help you with that, which is we made the animation be big and maybe you made it a bit too big. Okay. So you need to go to your system settings.
Also, why is it I am in your class and all I see is myself? So let me see. Am
Okay,
I?
so hold on. First, let's fix one thing. Go to your go to your system settings, that one. Open your system settings, which is now there.
Setting. I'm sorry. Where is the system setting? Oh,
You know what? It's a bit lower down. Now it's a bit higher up, which is the problem. See, you guys, what's happening? She's having them maximized so big that it's hard to find them. There. Click on that one.
Click here.
Yeah. So they're magnifying so big that it's hard. So let's go to the desktop and dock.
Desktop. Classmates, I'm really sorry. I'm always getting lost now.
There's a big list now.
Yeah, let me see. Desktop. I am on my desktop, am I?
Your mouse out here to the system settings. You're done. Like
Your mouse to the
dock. Move the mouse to the middle of your screen.
The middle of my screen.
Yeah, move to the middle.
Yeah, move to the middle.
You're probably seeing Zoom in your way. So stop moving up and down there. We don't need that anymore. We're not opening an app. Look at the middle of your screen now. And you see how it says desktop and dock that I'm a big pink circle I'm making? Yes.
Shall I go over there? This is yours, right? Or oh no, it's mine.
Yeah,
So
click on that. That's you. Click on it. Go ahead, click on it. Perfect. Now over here under magnification, you left it very large. Go ahead and move this down to about here. So
myself, I shall move this down.
That. Look where I'm making a circle, a bit further to the right, right there. Move to the right. No. Let me clean all the pink. Over here. Over here. Move your mouse up to that spot. Okay. See where it says large?
Large.
Okay. No. Up,
See the word large.
First thing. See up there? Keep going up with your mouth, with your face. There. Okay. Now this little white thing you need to drag down. So you're about to touch it. That little white box. Yeah. You're like, yeah, that one. Yes, that line. You need to move this down. Yeah, that one. You're perfect. Perfect. Exactly. Click. Go ahead and click. So click on that. You were there. Don't move your mouse away. I can see your mouse was in the right place, and I don't see your mouse now. So this is where you need to go. So if you see my pink box, that's what I need you to do.
Pink box.
You were there. Your mouse was in the right.
Oh, okay, here.
Yeah. So go ahead and see if you can click and see if it moves over. Otherwise, you need to grab this little line. I'm going to make in pink where your mouse needs to be, right there. Do you see my pink little dot? About an inch to the right. There, yeah, click and start dragging to the left.
To the left.
Yes, click and drag, but you need to click. You didn't click it first.
Oh,
That little white thing you need to grab. Yes, that. Click and drag it to the left. Yeah, perfect. Drag it, drag it. Yeah. Now you turned it off. Okay.
it won't move.
Exactly. No, you did. You moved it off. You turned it off. Okay.
Oh,
So now go ahead and click somewhere in the middle of this line.
it's large.
No,
That one's fine. Leave that one where it is. Leave that one where it is. It's this one that you need to move. That one's fine. It's the one that I've circled in circle. Yeah. Now you can grab it and move it somewhere to the middle. Like you can grab that exactly. You're in the exact spot. So that's perfect. No, 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 don't move. You were in the exact spot. Yeah, there. Click with your mouse and move it a little bit to your right. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Yeah, you need to do that, but you need to try it again. That's all you need to do. So grab the same thing that you were grabbing, that little white thing that you were doing. Yeah.
This
That
might
one. Now move it to your right.
move it to my right.
Yeah. See how it
yeah,
moves? Yeah.
keep going.
Put it on small and leave it there. Yeah. Yeah.
Keep
Let it go.
going.
Now let you go of your mouse. There you go. Now that would be much better. Now go back to your dock and you see how the magnification is only a little bit. Now, if you want it more than that, you want it,
Thank you. Thank you.
now you can see them all. If you want it more, then you need to move that a little bit more. Now go ahead and close your dock, your system settings so that when we keep working, you don't have it in your way. So go to your system settings here and you can get rid of them for now. This is the system settings that you have open. Yolanda, look to the right
Look to the right.
box. Yeah, you can get rid of this one. Go over here. This is your system settings. Okay, just go ahead and close them. Go up here to the yellow minimize button. The minimize button is at the top. Move you guys see how it's not yellow right now? So it's hard for me to call it yellow because it's not main program. So you need to hover over these three little dots, hover over the middle one, and you guys will see how it'll turn yellow. Yeah, put your mouse right there to the minimize button.
What did you want me to do?
I want you to minimize this window. So I want you to go to those three gray dots, go to the middle one. Yes, put your mouse over the middle one, right above it. That's my pink dot. Go up a little bit more, and you'll see how it turns yellow. Yeah, you were fine. There, click on that gray dot in the middle. Go a little bit higher up. I need to take my pink off because it's calling you. It's this one, where my pink dot is.
Oh,
My pink dot.
I'm sorry to spend so much time on here, but I'm really not functioning. So,
Linda, just click your mouse anywhere to make the thing become colorful. There you go. Now do you see the yellow dot?
yellow dot. The
Oh.
middle, in the middle. This one?
That one.
Click.
Click
This
now.
one?
Yeah, click your mouse right there. Perfect. You minimized it. There you go. And I know some days are better and some days are worse, Yolanda. Don't worry. I got you. Okay. When necessary, I can also take over your guys' computer and do things for you. But my best solution is to teach you guys to do it. So every now and then I will do that. But for most part, I'm going to try to get you guys to do it. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen again. So now we have everything minimized. Now, plan B, not better or worse, just a plan B, is to, instead of minimize them, and for some people, they love it, and some people, they hate it. So I'm just showing you options, is to use the stage manager. So I'm going to bring all these up again by clicking on them. So I'm going to click on one, click on another. Oh, not that one. That's my roster. Don't say, can't have, oh, shoot. You changed your email there and I didn't change it. Anyway, never mind. I said don't save. Click on that, 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 click on that. I'm clicking on all the stuff that's there and now I have a ton of open things again. You saw them all open up, right? Doesn't look like there's a ton because one's on top of the other, but they're all there. Yeah?
Okay.
Did everyone do that? You have a lot of apps open right now? Okay, plan B. Plan B is to turn on your stage manager. The stage manager, did anyone try it during this week? Did you try it out? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Any feelings over it?
I liked it.
Sue, you liked it, okay? For people who need to use one thing at a time, I find that it's pretty useful. If no one else tried it, let's give it one more try now. Let's open our system settings. Here we go. System settings. And it's back to desktop and dock. Maybe Yolanda shouldn't have had you close your window because now you have to open it again. I forgot that it was right there.
Mine is on desktop and dock.
Desktop and dock again. And now we're going to go over to where it says desktop and stage manager. So you might need to scroll down a bit, and we're going to turn the stage manager choice. So you're in desktop and dock, and you're going to go down to where it says desktop and stage manager. And down here where it says stage manager, we're going to turn this one on. Okay. And it's like instant. The moment you turn it on, it all goes away. So I'm not going to click on it until everyone tells me that, you know, you can say so.
Mine is not doing anything when I tap on it.
Yeah. So this is what we need to do. We need to turn this on, and everything else that's open should go away. Now, guess what? If you don't have a ton of other things open, then nothing happens, right? You need to have a lot of applications open for this to happen. So if you haven't yet opened 4 or 5 or 6 applications, then please do so, because this only works if the applications are open. So if I now go and open another application, and I'm going to open the App Store, it comes to the forefront. And now I need to clean all my pink lines. And it becomes the one that is the important one, and all the rest of my applications are hanging out here waiting to be opened. Now I want to go back to my Safari. I click on Safari, and the App Store got put away. Now I want to go back to my system settings. I click on the system settings, and Safari got put away. So it's one at a time, one at a time. For some people, this is absolutely the best thing since whatever, sliced bread. And for other people, it's like, no, I do want to have 2 or 3 things at a time. Depending on who you are, you might love this or you might not love this. Who loves it? Give me a yes. Who doesn't love it or can't figure it out? Give me a no.
Give me a no.
No, like, I was happy the way I was. I don't need this. Yes, if like, this is really good. Even if you just need to get accustomed to it. If you like it, then go ahead and say yes. Here we go. All your apps get over here. Now, it's a little bit harder for Yolanda because you have your dock on the left side. And so your dock and your stage manager now are kind of competing. Does that make sense? So let me just show you what would be happening right now. Because Yolanda's dock is on the left, then your stage manager moves over to the right. But if it moves over to the right, now it's over all of these little icons that we have on the desktop. You see that? So that becomes a bit of a problem too. So if you are accustomed to having the dock on the left, maybe you should not use the stage manager, because the computer always uses the right side for your screenshots and folders. And the left side is where they're putting the stage manager. If you want the stage manager, the dock on the left, and you're accustomed to it, which you've done for years, Yolanda, then I would recommend that you do not use the stage manager at all, because it was always going to be on top of your stuff. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, now I understand.
Has everyone answered yes or no to this stuff?
No.
Let me see. Sue, Jennifer, this is your first time seeing this, and I taught this last week. So just watch last week's class.
Okay.
Pay attention now, and
Okay.
then you'll get more of a hand of it. But yeah, I do seem to have answers from everyone except for Georgia. So everyone else, I've got a sprinkling of yeses and nos. So there you go. 5 people said yes, and 5 people said no. You guys are evenly divided between you liked it or you didn't like it. Now, those of you who said no, is it that you don't like it, or is it that it doesn't work for you and you need some help? Because normally when you say no, it's because you need some help. But in this case, I told you, give me a no if you don't like it. But does anyone speak up if it's just not working for you and you need help? Hi, Diane. I let you in when I was in the middle of talking, so I haven't greeted you yet.
So Diana,
Yes, Patricia?
yes, I don't like it because my computer is so slow. And then I need to close programs while I'm working. And but then you say that RAM, if I have a little RAM, is going to slow the machine. But then is that the only reason, or just because my computer doesn't handle the new updated programs? Because Photoshop and Lightroom, I cannot work them together anymore.
Yeah, so let me explain, you guys. That's a great question. First of all, let me clarify what she said. She doesn't like it because her computer can't have too many apps open. So let me first answer to that. I don't recommend having all the apps open at all. This is just for people who insist on having many apps open. The Stage Manager cleans it up. But my recommendation is to not have so many apps open. So in that sense, Patricia, you are exactly right. So before I continue your answer, and since this was what Jennifer asked at the beginning, let me show you how to get rid of all those apps, because ideally you wouldn't need the Stage Manager, because ideally you wouldn't have so many apps open. Now, a lot of you guys have a new computer that came with good RAM, and you can have them open and it's not affecting the use of your computer. So you need to measure that, how your computer is feeling to you. And if having 5 or 7 things open, your computer works as good as usual, then hallelujah, you have a computer that can handle that. So you can leave them open. As time goes by, as your computer becomes 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, 4 years old, you'll notice that more apps open affect its running, right?
Right.
So then you got to get accustomed to closing them when you don't use them. I'm going to get to your second part of your question, Patricia, but first, let's get rid of some of these apps. Instead of having the Stage Manager handle them, let's just turn some of these apps off, or as we say on the computer, let's quit these apps, which was Jennifer's first question. So I'm going to turn the Stage Manager off, by the way, for a second, and I'm going to start quitting some of these apps. So the easiest way to quit an app is to go to the app that has a dot and to do a right click and say quit. So a right click, when you just have a computer that has no mouse, then what you need to do is you do 2 fingers down on you put your mouse over what you want to close, and then you do 2 fingers down on the touchpad. And then this little window pops up and you can say quit, and it quits. So now I'm going to quit the system settings. I'm going to go over here, right click, quit. Now I'm going to get rid of my notes. So I'm going to say right click, quit. If someone has a right click that isn't working for them, let me know. So here's my calculator, right click and quit. So think about it. When I only have 2 or things running on my computer, I kind of don't really need this Stage Manager, and I don't really need to minimize too many things, or I can minimize 1 or 2 things and that's good enough, and I don't need the Stage Manager. Does that make sense? So I have all these things open, then I need to right click and quit. By the time I'm done, I'm only using the things that I normally use. There's nothing left for the Stage Manager to handle, because I have closed all the cupboards and drawers in my kitchen, and there's no need for the Stage Manager. Does that make sense?
Yes.
That said, if you have the Stage Manager always turned on, so now I'm going to turn it on again. And it feels like, well, what's the point if I'm not doing anything with it? Well, the next time I do open something and use it, it'll let me use it. And when I open that third thing, it'll open that third thing and stash the other one. And then I open the fourth thing, it'll leave that one, it'll stash the other one. And you can see visually how many things you have open. And you can go, whoa, okay, wow, looks like I'm collecting a lot of stuff. I open another one. Maybe I should be closing some things. So then you go back and you start closing them. Does that make sense? So yeah, I highly recommend having it on as a way to remember to close things or not having it on and just remembering to close things, your choice. Okay? So hopefully now everyone has closed most of their apps. While you're working on that, has quit most of their apps. While you're working on that, I'm going to continue with the second part of Patricia's question. Patricia works with Photoshop and Lightroom. These are programs that a few of you guys have. A few more in this class have that. I think my son, there's a couple of other people in this class who have these programs. These programs have historically taken up a lot of computer functioning power. And over the last 2 years, they are hogs. They are incredibly, incredibly wasteful, so to say, of computer power, because now artificial intelligence has been brought into them. And if they used to take up a lot of your computer power, now they take up even more. So when you used to be able to run 2 or 3 of those programs together, now a computer can only run one at a time. That has to do with RAM. It also has to do with just the power of your computer itself. And those of you who have a computer for everything except for those programs, you could probably use your computer for many, many years. But as soon as you start adding those programs, for better or for worse, you kind of have to start upgrading your computer more often, because these computers, these programs are becoming just huge heavyweights. And Photoshop and Lightroom in particular take up so much computing power that you're right, Patricia. You have to really have everything turned off while you use them, because otherwise your computer barely functions. And if you have both of them open, it's too much. Okay.
Do
But that's just
people
that,
use both at once?
yeah. Photoshop and
Usually- People usually use them simultaneously.
they have 2 different functions. So yeah. There's a lot of overlap, but Photoshop can do a lot of stuff Lightroom can't do, and Lightroom can do some things that Photoshop cannot do. So yeah. I'm gonna stop my share because it looks like Rodney, are you trying to share your screen? No, okay, you were sharing the screen. So Georgia, I don't have the time right now to spend talking about Photoshop and Lightroom, but yes, they are not the same program. They do not do the same things. And many times you work in Lightroom for a bit and then you take a photo into Photoshop to really get it complete, and then you bring it back into Lightroom. Photoshop is where you can do the most. Lightroom is more about general stuff and organizing. So when you want to do more detail, you have to move into Photoshop. So it's just a different level of what you can do. But since that is not part of what everyone else here wants to know right now, if you want to know more about that, definitely ask me and we can talk more in all those classes. Yes, Afra?
No, I made mistake. I'm sorry. By
Okay.
mistake. Thank you.
Got it. All right. So, so there we go. Ideally, you don't have to use a stage manager and you don't have to minimize, ideally, because you're good about keeping only the things that you want. Now me, for sure, I always have 3 programs open. I said Safari, Mail, and Calendar. Then when I want them out of the way, I minimize them because it's 3. It's very easy to go in here and open them when I want them. So I don't actually use the stage manager. But if I ever have a need for more programs open because I'm doing something complicated where I need a lot more, then the stage manager is so easy to turn on and off. And it does become helpful to not have everything in the way. So it's a choice. I think that most people will either have it always on or always off. And you guys kind of answered half and half. And perfect. If you answered half and half, that's about right. That's about what I'm finding. Some people love it, some people hate it. And that means about half and half. So there you go. Cool. Now, more about those applications that we open and close. I want you once again to now open, if you haven't quit them all, then I want you to open about 3 applications. And this time let's open the same ones that I open. That way when I say choose contacts, choose this, choose that, we all have the same ones open. So let's do this. First, let's open Safari. Then let's open contacts. So if you don't see contacts here on your screen, then I can show you. If you don't have these apps on your dock, I'm sorry, then I can show you how to get to them. But for now, if you see it, then open contacts and open your calendar and open your notes. And then the last one I want you to open, you might not have the calculator handy. There is another small one here that we could open. These are all, the reason I'm saying open the small ones is because
What notes look like?
yeah, notes is like a little notepad, like a little yellow strip notepad, and it says notes.
Like
So
page,
let me show you how to find all these that you don't, and then we'll open in reminders. So it's okay if you open different ones, but right
oh,
now it's okay. Now, how do we open apps that are not on your dock? How do we do that? Because I'm telling you to open these, and what if they're not on your dock? And what if you don't know where
or
they
the
are?
launch pad.
So let's go over to the Finder. Not the Launchpad could work, but it's much easier. I'm going to be teaching you how to use the Finder. Okay, so what the thing that was just mentioned by Sue is the Launchpad, which is right here. And sure, why not? I'm going to show you how to use a Launchpad. But what I'm really going to teach you to use is the Finder, because that'll lead us into all of the organization of files of Mac Level 1. But let me show you the Launchpad since she mentioned it. Here it is. It's this little multicolored button that's to the right of the half smiley blue and white guy. That's the Launchpad. I'm going to click on it. And what the Launchpad does is it gives you a bigger view of all the icons of every application that's on your computer. Because over here, you only have
Cannot
some.
see your screen.
Yeah, we don't know what you're talking about.
Have I not been sharing my screen all this time?
Just
Oh,
now.
I stopped it to, okay. So guys, this is a slap on everyone's hands. I've been talking for at least 2 or 3 minutes, showing stuff, and no one noticed, thought of telling me that you weren't seeing it. So I had stopped my share because Rodney had started sharing and then he stopped. But all this stuff I've been doing, you haven't been seeing, and that's not good, okay?
No, we saw everything. You were just telling us to open ours, so.
Yeah, but I was showing you how to open them, and someone said, how does it look? And I was like this, see? And of course, like this, see? If you're not seeing it, you can't tell. So just, if I'm not sharing, it's only when I'm just talking at large about stuff. But if I'm showing you stuff and I'm not sharing, please speak up. All right. Whenever I stop my share to let someone else share, sometimes I forget to reshare, and that's what just happened. All right. So the Launchpad that I think Sue mentioned is the icon that's right next to the half smiley blue and white one. This one, this multicolored little thing. And when you click on it, it shows you every app that's installed on your computer. And it shows it to you versus the dock that only shows you the apps that are on the dock. So part of today is learning the difference, right? So now I happen to have so many apps that I have 3 dots here. So I have 1, 2, 3. I have a lot of apps on my computer. So how do I get to the second page? I click on this second little dot. And the third page, I click on this third little dot. So that's a lot. But maybe you only have 2 dots, or maybe you only have 1, depending on how many apps came on your computer. But this is every app that's on my computer. So when I said the notes looks like a little notepad, yellow top, and there it is. So if I click on notes, then it'll open from here. If I click on preview, it'll open from here. If I click on calculator, so if anyone sees their calculator here, go ahead and open your calculator. Boom, it'll open from there. And now the calculator opened up, and I have it kind of hiding down here somewhere. Let me move it out a bit more into the center. Okay, so if you don't find an app on your dock, you might want to find it on your Launchpad. I find that sometimes the Launchpad is too much because I see so many icons. I'm like, where is my stuff? If I have to come all the way here to find my Photoshop, which isn't next to my InDesign, like I don't understand how they organize in the Launchpad, how they organize them by size, by whatnot. Like it doesn't make much sense to me sometimes. I think it's by order of what you opened last. I think that's kind of how they organize them. So then what you use the most is up at the top. Maybe that's how they organize them. Anyway, That's the launch pad. When I don't want it anymore, either I click the launch pad again or I hit the escape key and it goes away. So that's the launch pad. I don't usually use that. So what I use and what is more useful as going into Mac level 1 where we're organizing our files is actually the Finder. So what's the Finder? Well, the Finder window is the one that opens up when you click on this right next to the Launchpad, the smiley face, the half blue, half white, kind of creepy little face there. When I click on it one time, I get a Finder window. And we're going to definitely become really familiar with this Finder window. We're going to use it for just about everything. So go ahead and everyone open a Finder window. And I'm okay with that. What's that?
No available windows when I click on Finder.
On it one more time. You probably did a long press or something and it did something weird. Just a single click.
I didn't get anything like you got.
It doesn't matter. It might look quite different. It might look, it probably looks kind of like.
For the apps? Oh, I have, that's because I
It
haven't.
probably looks like this or like that. I don't know what it'll look like, but it probably looks like that.
It's pictures, it's in the picture stage instead of the icon stage instead of.
Probably, exactly. It probably looks like this when you first open one.
Right.
Yeah, so that's fine. This is what it looks like. I will teach you how to use it in many different ways, but when it first opens, by default, it's showing you the recents and it's showing it to you in icons mode. So yeah, this is a bit more like how it would probably look. Okay. Now, does everyone have a Finder window open? And if you do, give me a yes. And again, you just go down to the little Finder icon and click one time and a Finder window will open. And it should be in the front on top of everything if you still have your things all over the place, or if you have the Stage Manager turned on, which I temporarily have it on right now, then it should be up in front and nothing else should be around. Okay, I'm seeing Finder windows. Yes, everywhere. Jennifer, do you have a Finder window open?
I still can't figure out how to go. I can't get to I can't think of the word right now, but that thing down at the bottom of the page where
Okay.
I can't find it.
Finder, oh, the dock.
Yes, the dock.
The dock here, if you can't find it, it's probably because you have a setting called hide your dock. Let me show you how to find it. If that's your setting, and I'm going to demo it for a second, so that you can see how to do it. If you have your desktop and dock settings set up on automatically hide and show the dock, if that's turned on, then see how my dock is not there, guys? You see how my dock is hiding?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening to you, Jennifer, that you don't see your dock? You just don't have a dock there?
I don't see it, and I don't know why it's happening.
Yeah, it's because this is turned on.
Well, it's worse. I hate to tell you this, Deanna, but it's worse than that. I don't see you at all.
Well,
I'm
no,
not getting a shared screen. I'm just screwed.
That's all right. And actually, meaning that's you don't need to see me right now. Let me just explain how to see your dock when it's hidden. For those of you who have your dock on this mode, hopefully, unless you're really comfy with the computer, you wouldn't have it on this mode. I do have it on this mode in my personal computer. I have my dock always hiding. What do I mean? I don't want a whole inch of my computer being taken by my dock when I don't need it. So I have this thing called automatically hide and show the dock turned on. Watch what happens when I need it. So Jennifer, watch what you need to do. And I know you
watch
see,
it.
you can't see me. I know you can't see me. I'm explaining it though. So it's okay if you can't, So you can listen.
Okay.
Take your mouse and take it down almost like you're ramming the bottom of your screen. Boom. The moment you touch the bottom of your screen, but like the real bottom, not kind of the bottom, like the edge that goes black, when you touch the very bottom of your screen with your mouse, like you're trying to take your mouse off your screen, then the dock pops up. And then when you move your mouse out, it pops away. So for you, those of you who like that feature, you won't see your dock all the time. Now, truly, I don't open and close programs all day long in my life. I open them every now and then. So why have the dock sitting there the whole time? So I actually like this feature, but for teaching, I never have it on because for teaching, I want to have my dock there visible all the time. But for me, whenever I need the dock, all I need to do is take my mouse to the very bottom of the screen. My dock comes up, I take and I open whatever I need to open. And then when I move my mouse out, it hides again. Does that make sense? So for those of you who really like what I'm showing you, then the same place, desktop and dock, where we were turning the Stage Manager on and off, then you need to turn on the automatically hide and show the dock. Now, if you're like, oh, that's why it's been disappearing, I didn't know and I hate it, then turn it off and then your dock will be always visible. Okay? So it's just a turning on or off feature of your system settings under the desktop and dock. Under the magnification, there's a choice here to hide or show the dock. Okay? Then there's the animate open applications or not, which normally is on. And what that means is that when I open something, it kind of does this little jump, like it animates it. It's not very obvious, but sometimes if I turn that off, when I open something, it just opens. So boom, it'll just open and that's it. And I haven't turned this one in a while, so it's on. Versus if I have this on, then it does like a little jump. So watch, I'm going to open an application that takes a long time to open. You don't need to do this, but these take a long time to open and it's going to jump. See how it keeps jumping? Jump, 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 jump. It's basically telling me it's opening. Now I'm going to close Photoshop. But when an application takes a long time to open, it jumps, jumps, jumps. So that feature, so you know that it's responding, is animate opening applications. So I normally have that one on. I like the little guys that jump up and down. That's good with me. And I actually always have this one on in my personal computer. I'm going to leave it off right now because I want you guys to see the dock. But those are good choices. Okay. Now, Finder window. Here we go. We've opened a Finder window. All along the left side of your Finder window, you should be seeing a sidebar. I'm going to clean your answers because I want to make sure that everyone is seeing their sidebar. If you're not seeing your sidebar, please let me know. And you need to find the word applications. So now, once you have hit the word applications in your sidebar, give me a yes. In your Finder window, sidebar, find the word applications and then go and give me a yes.
Yes.
Go ahead and give it to me as a green check mark.
I wish I could.
Well, that's okay then. Just say yes. I got you.
Yes.
If everyone said yes, I wouldn't be able to handle it. But if one person says yes, I can figure that one out. By the way, I'm going to turn off the Stage Manager at this point because I need some more sanity. So give me a second while I get rid of some applications while I do this part of the lesson because I need less stuff turned on. Okay. Okay. My other computer crashed again. And when it crashes, this is the only computer I can teach from. And if I do that, I need more space on my screen. Okay. So if everyone's clicking on applications, you might be seeing your window like me, a bunch of lists. You might be seeing it like this, which is a bunch of icons, very similar to the Launchpad, right? Basically the same as a Launchpad, right? You're seeing little icons under the Finder window. I prefer to see things as lists, and we're going to talk about why later. But right now, it doesn't matter how you see it. It matters that you find the application that you want to open. We're going to be putting things in and out of the dock. Now, we're going to be doing this after break. So as long as you all found your dock. Oh, Carol, you don't seem to have a Finder window open. You said no. How can I help?
It opened recents.
Okay.
And I had pictures, but I didn't get to anything with applications.
Okay. Do you see the word applications anywhere? It could be that it's gone.
No, I have favorites and then everything's under iCloud.
Okay.
And locations.
You have favorites like this, it's closed and you don't see anything?
I have favorites and what's open is recents.
Okay. So
and iCloud.
Guys, okay, so just so you guys know, if you see favorites, but you don't see anything under it, notice that here on the far right, a little tiny little arrow appears only when I touch the word favorites. And I click on that, then it'll open up. But you do see recent, so that means that you've lost your little applications icon. I can help you with that.
No, I have favorites now. I hit that little arrow and
Oh, good. So now you
Uh,
see applications?
now I got music, pictures,
Okay.
documents,
Good. Then you're in the right spot. That's good to know.
but I don't see applications.
Oh, you don't see applications. Okay, so give me a second. You need to share your screens for me to fix that. So anyone else who doesn't see applications, I need to help you find it. That's something I will do right now. I haven't taught you enough for you to know how to get it back there.
Oh, I have application. I'm sorry. It's
You found
at the bottom of the list.
Okay,
Sorry.
good. Then click on it. All right, good. So is that everyone else? I think Carol Sauceda, you hadn't answered. You did. Kate, have you answered? I think everyone else has answered. Okay. So if you're seeing applications, what we're going to do is we're going to not touch the computer anymore, and we're going to go on our break. When we come back, we're going to pick up exactly from where we left off. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and calculate, or someone's going to calculate for me 15 minutes. It's 10:56. Let's say from 10:57 by the time we stop talking. Can somebody figure out 15 minutes? Me.
Well, 11:13.
11:13 a.m. it is. So be back at 11:13 a.m.
Okay.
Remember, talking to your Siri, talking to your phone and tell it to give you a timer for 12 minutes. And I'm going to do it now so I can see how I demo it. Hey Siri,
Yeah.
let's timer for 12 minutes.
15 minutes.
Minutes starting now.
By the way, the timer should be for 12 minutes because if you set it for 15 minutes, by the time you hear it and you're somewhere out in the garden and you come back, you're 2 minutes late. So the break is 15 minutes. The timer should be set for 12 or 13 if you're a really quick walker. Okay, see you guys in 15.
Set timer for 12 minutes.
All right, I'm back. Hi, guys. All right. Hopefully you had a good break. I've been doing my best to get out and walk during my break because sometimes I sit here and I work, and I do. I have some emails to send, but I said, no, you have to move.
Yeah.
After spending a whole summer moving like crazy, I'm sitting here for 8 hours in front of the computer and I'm going, this is not going to work for me. And I'm standing now, so that's better. I got my desk up. But standing still in front of the computer is not much better than sitting in the computer. So I just took a little walk around the neighborhood.
Good.
Yeah.
I have to leave by 11:30 today, but I'll watch the rest on the recording.
Okay. Thank you.
So have a nice weekend. Deanna, just a quick question. I could not find in the catalog when registration is on Tuesday. It just said on the 8th. Do you know if it's 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, or doesn't it matter? If it is at 9 o'clock, I'll be a little late because I want to register right away.
Yeah. So in classes like mine, there used to be waiting lists. Now there's not. So it doesn't matter if it's 8 or 9. But I know that people who are doing things like, ceramics or whatever, they have to be there the moment it starts. And I really don't know what the schedule is.
Okay. Okay.
So if you have one of those contested kind of classes, you should, be on top of it. But I don't know, to say the truth. Sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
And I'll see you on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Everyone else, just so you know, registration starts next Tuesday for the fall classes. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I see that what you wrote, Yolanda. Oh, got it. Perfect. Yolanda wrote something to me. All right. Thanks for letting me know. And now let's continue. If you are here, those of you who don't turn on your videos, I don't know if you're here. So can everyone give me a yes, particularly the ones who I don't see? So my son and Carol and Kate, and then Diane, I can see you're not there, so I assume you're not there. But the rest of you guys, I see you, so that's good. All right. So I had left you guys with the Finder window open, and we had all found the applications button, right? So I'm going to clean your feedback and give me a yes again if you found the applications button. And if that's where you're at, now we're going to continue from there. So you should have a Finder window open, and you should have found a button. We call it a button, but you should have found the word applications on the side column. If you found that, give me a yes. If you didn't find that, give me a no, and I will have you share your screen because what we're going to do next depends upon having that open. So I need to make sure everyone finds it. And Jennifer, I think you're nodding like you did find it. Yeah. Okay. And I think most of you guys are saying yes. So Kate, Carol, Sauceda, I guess Carol Sauceda, you're not here yet. Diane, you're not here yet. So everyone else, Georgia, did you find it? Sue, I'm not getting a yes from you either. An application window.
I had to turn off my Stage Manager in order to be able to see the Zoom screen and the.
Oh, well, there you go. The Stage Manager is not good for this because then it doesn't let you see two at the same time. Perfect example of when the Stage Manager doesn't work is when you have a need to see two things at the same time, which is when you're on Zoom. So there you go. But at least now you know how to turn it on and off at will, and that's good. All right. So I see you.
Sorry, Diana, what did you say to open the application?
Nothing. A Finder window and then
Finder window.
Applications. So Finder window you open by clicking on the little half smiley face that's at the bottom on your dock.
Oh, I see.
Then you click on the word applications that appears here. Somewhere.
Okay.
It won't appear in the same spot as me, but somewhere in this area,
Yeah.
under favorites, you should see the word applications. Some people have it at the bottom, some at the top. It doesn't matter. It's the word applications. Okay.
I think you're not sharing your screen, Diana.
I am, but let me share again. And
Yes, she is. I could see it.
it's okay, but sometimes when people say that, it's because for them it's hidden and it takes me nothing. It makes
There.
it not hard for me to reshare, and then it
Got it.
pops up again at the top for everyone.
Got it.
So here we go. Yeah, sometimes I'm not sharing it, and I've asked you to tell me that. So it's good if you don't see it to tell me you're not sharing. It might be I'm not sharing, or it might be that you're not seeing it. Either way, by me resetting it, it resets for everyone. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Okay, so now I'm going to clean your answers. And now, if you're clicking on applications, what you have on this side could be just like mine, or it could be like this, or it could be like that, or it could be like that, which are all different ways of viewing the same information. And we're going to see that these 4 little things that I am clicking, which are different views, might not even look like that for you. It might even be that for you, this looks like, I'm gonna make it smaller, like that. Because when your window is smaller, it compresses into one drop-down menu. Instead of when the window is bigger, it expands into 4 little buttons. So under the word view, which you might not have, in fact, and let me just remind me that most people might not have the word view there. You might just have icons. Then you can either see 4 little icons, or if the window is too small, you can see one icon and you change as list, as columns, or gallery. Now, I want everyone to change theirs to as list. Now, as list, by the way, and if you need to open it a little bit bigger to see all 4, as list is the second choice. So we're seeing them as icons or as list. And I want you to see them as list. And if you're now seeing less stuff, go click on applications again. Sometimes you go and start going inside of something when you do that. Now, this are all different views. Imagine when I tried to explain the different views is, imagine that you have, for example, the school catalog, right? The school catalog, if you've ever seen it, some of you might have never seen it, is each time you open it, you'll see the list, the name of the class, the date and time, and a little description of the class. That's one view of our class schedule. Another view of a class schedule would be if you go to Safari and if you go to the dashboard and you search once you get in, since I signed out, now I have to get in. And then you search over here when it says class search. And this is another view of the same information, right? But when the class comes up in this place and you have that same information, it's just a different view of the same information. Another view of the same information would be if you get a little one-page flyer that says, here's all the classes that we're teaching, or so it's the same information presented in different ways. Some ways are more useful than others. It's the same information, but some has more utility. For example, when you view as icons, all you see is the icon that tells you this is that app, but that's all you see. You see nothing else. All you know is that this is that app, and that's the file name. That's it. If you see it in as list, you can also see the fact that it's got a certain time when that app was last opened, when it was modified, what size that app is, what kind of app that is. Does that make sense? So there's just more information. If you see it in columns, we're going to get deeply into that next class in Mac Level 1. Then you get to see what's inside of each folder in a column format, right? So there's just different ways. And I don't want us to go through all these ways right now. I'm trying to explain what the views are. And right now, I want you all to be under the Applications List View. Applications List View, which is the second one down. All right? Now, for us to understand what these icons are, one thing you can do is you can turn on the little words that come below it. And how to do that, go over here to this neutral part where there's no buttons, like some part that's neutral right next to these things. Do a little right click and choose icon and text. And now this will say that this is view, that this is group, that this is action. Does that make sense? Just gives you a little bit more information. Now, if you already had it on that, it's because you turn it on some other class. You can also have it on text only. That makes no sense to me. You could have it on icon only, which is how it comes, or you can right click and choose icon and text. And that's the one that kind of seems to work better while you're learning what these icons are. Okay? So now on the view as list and applications, I should have a long list of applications here. I probably have more applications than you do. If you only have whatever came with a computer, then you will have less applications. If you have the same amount that I have, then it's because you have installed extra applications in your computer. And I'm doing something that I'm going to have you guys turn on in a minute. And hold on. Don't worry about this for a second. Just I messed up because I told it to hide the sidebar, and I need to view the sidebar. So I need to open that up again. There we go. All right. Okay. So now, this application list here is equivalent to when we did the Launchpad and I had to go through 3 pages to see all my apps, remember? That's the same thing. We're seeing them all here. So the reason I'm showing you this is because I want us to begin to look at our doc and find out what we really need in our doc. So maybe there's things in your doc that you need that you don't have, and things on your doc that you don't need that you have there. Because in the doc, you just have everything that comes with a computer. That doesn't mean that you're using it. And you could have it be less full of stuff if you were to take some things out. But before we take things out willy-nilly, let's put some things on it so that we learn how to put things on and off that aren't going to affect you having them on. So let's say that I want to have for example, I know that that the calculator does not come on the doc, right? It doesn't. So what if we want the calculator on the doc? I don't know about you guys, but I seem to find myself using the calculator a lot. It's one of those apps that makes sense to me to have on the doc. So what do I have on the doc? The things that I use a lot. So I'm going to go up here by alphabetical order, and I'm going to find the one that says calculator. There it is. You see that? So everyone go find your calculator. And now I'm going to say, I think it needs to be on my doc. So watch what I'm going to do. And it's better if you have it closer so that you don't have so much distance to cross, but I'm going to grab it as a click and drag, and I'm going to drag it over. And now I'm going to put it here. Now, if I try to put it on top of something, it won't work. It'll just won't work. But if I move, see how everything moves over and makes space for me? And so I'm like, here, I'm going to drop it right there. And I let go of it right there. Boom, I have just put the calculator on my dock. So you have to make sure that you take it and wait until they move over to make space for you. What if I want to have my podcasts app? I'm going to go to my podcasts app, and I'm going to drag it and put it right here next to the music and the TV. Well, what if I don't use Apple TV? What if I don't want Apple TV on my dock because I don't use it? Well, I can click on it and drag it up about 2 inches or 3 inches above, and when I let go, boom, it disappears. But I didn't get rid of the app, you guys. I got rid of the shortcut to the app, because if I go now to Apple TV, there it is. I can just grab it and put it back in there. There we go. This is not the application. This is a little shortcut that takes you to the application. The application lives right here in this place, the place that we're looking at right now. Does that make sense? So if I have them on my dock or not, I am not eliminating that program. I'm going to take out iMovie. Boom, remove. Now I'm going to go find iMovie again. Here we go, iMovie. And I am going to, I'm going to drag it back down, and I'm going to put iMovie right there again. There it is. So now if you want to add something else that you don't have, like you probably don't have, I I don't know, the stocks app probably doesn't show up ever on your dock. If you want to check your stocks, you put it in there. And then you go, nah, I don't want to check my stocks. You can remove it. Another way of removing it is to do a right click, options, remove from dock. Right click on the icon, options, remove from dock. Boom, it's been removed from the dock. Now, don't get rid of too many things that you don't until you know if you need them or not. I will be teaching you how to use many of these apps in the Mac Level 2 class, but I for sure won't be teaching you how to use Apple TV. And if you don't use Apple TV, well, go ahead and take it off. And if you use it, then keep it on. I don't know if you use it. I'm not about to teach you how to use that one right now, nor I will not teach you how to use music right now. And you're like, music, I use that all the time. Well, keep it in your dock. Or music, I never use it. Well, drag it off the dock. And then the day that you go, oh, I would like to check out that music app, then you can put it back on the dock. Now, you don't even need to put it back on the dock. You can use it from here. Say you want to check out the music app. Say you want to check out the news app. Say you want to check out the numbers app. Just double click on it from here. Double click, and the music app opens. So it doesn't need to be on your dock to open. I'm going to quit now. It just needs to be under the applications folder. And then if you do begin to use it a lot, then you put it on your dock. So what's on your dock should be stuff that you use a lot, and things that you don't use a lot, just drag them off because you're not getting rid of them. You're just making the quick access to them disappear. And then the next time you need, you go, oof, I need the news app, for example, and I don't have it here. Then you open the Finder window, go to applications, and go to the word news. And there it is, news app, and you open the news app. Does that make sense, you guys? Now, if you're opening these things for the first time ever, we'll be seeing these little welcome views. And then when you say continue, it starts showing you the news, okay? Now, I don't want the news app right now, so I'm going to quit the news app. Another way to quit the news app is or any app, you can quit, you can right click and quit like I've taught you before, or you can go up to the top apple and right next to the apple, okay, so here, I'm over here now, way at the top corner of the screen. When you go to next to the apple, you will see that it'll always have the name of the app that you are wanting, and then you go click on news, and you go to quit news. Now, for those of you who and I'm going to click quit it. Now, another thing I'm going to do is if I want it again, I will open it again. So here's my news app. And then everyone should know, I keep saying not now because I'm not following. When I click on news and I go down to quit news, watch. Everyone should be able to see these little symbols that look kind of like cryptic little symbols. Like, what does that mean? Well, that's this shortcut. So for those of you who are just learning how to quit something, just learn one. Go to the dock, right click and quit. That's the easiest one. But if you're ready to learn a shortcut, just so you know, if you click on the command key and then on the Q, you will quit the program. So right now you can't see me, but I'm going to hold down the command key and then I'm going to hit the Q, boom, and I have just quit my news app. You see that? So I'm going to open it again and then command Q. I just closed it. Now that's only command stays held down. I don't move it. I held down the command key and I hold it down and then I hit the Q and that closes it. So I'm going to open my music app right now and I don't want it. I'm going to hold down the command key, keep it held down, and then I'm going to tap the Q. Boom. I just quit the music app. I'm going to open Safari and I don't want it anymore. I hold down the command key and I hit the Q and I close it. That's a shortcut. So for people who are confused by this, at this point, this is one of those things that people who are a bit more advanced should be learning and should be trying it out. But if you're new to this and you're beginning to learn stuff and it's all confusing, don't worry. Don't try to do these extra things. If you want to quit Safari and it has a dot, just do right click, quit. Just showing you that everything can be done at least 2 or 3 different ways, sometimes 4. So learn one. That's all you need. You don't need to learn 3 or 4. Learning one is more than enough. For those of you who have done this a few times, you can start learning the second or the third one. Sue, you're looking a bit confused. I know that there's some hands up. If this is one too many, don't worry too much. It doesn't matter at all. Raise your hand if you have a particular question, and I have Patricia and Diane first, and then I'll help you. But if you can't figure out the Command Q shortcut, this is just extra stuff. Okay? So raise your hand if you have a specific question, and I'll get to you after I get to Patricia and Diane. So, all right, Patricia, what's your question?
I just wanted to ask you, the books app, is this from the library or this is the ones we buy, Diana? I'm trying to start listening audiobooks.
Yeah. So here's the Books app that she's talking about. And the Books app, I'm going to double click on open it so that you can see it. It is books that you can buy, like current bestsellers, $9.99, start reading for free, customer favorites, audiobooks, bestsellers. So it's basically offering books that you want to read. And there's audiobooks also, so you can read. So let me get one of the free ones. So say that I start reading for free, Alexis Girls, Every Spy a Traitor. Say that I want to buy this one. And it said it was free, right? So I'm going to do that right now. So then I can just select it. You can also pay, but I don't want to pay right now for a book. So I can select it. And then I can go over here and say get. And I could read a sample if I'm interested in reading it. And so I'm going to click on that. And onto this account, it's going to sell me that book. Now, it's going to be $0, but I need to have an account that they can charge if they charge, right? So it's happening. I'm going to a little bit. I'm going to cancel that right now because I don't particularly want to buy it. So it's back to saying get. But I could read a sample. So I can click on sample, and basically on my computer or on my touchpad, I could be reading this book. So here it is, and I'm reading it. He was aware it's coming, so I'm reading a book. So this is just like people who use the Kindle or something like that. This is a book app ready to read a book. And right now what I'm doing is I'm just reading the little sample. If I decide I want it, I can click on get, and then I will purchase it. So that's what the book app is all about. It's about books. Now, you can also have an audiobook store where you can buy audiobooks, and you can buy audiobooks. So anyone who has ever bought audiobooks or borrowed them from the library or things like that, and you've used it or you have a Kindle, this is the Apple version of reading and writing. And they have deals like this David Baldacci book is $4.99 this week. It'll probably not next week and stuff like that. So if you're into reading, now the good news about this is that if you also have a phone or an iPad, you can begin reading it on the phone and then continue reading on the iPad and then continue on the computer, whatever you're on. I don't particularly like to sit and read a book on my computer myself. But the good news is that you can make the thing be as big letters as you want, as small as you want. On the audiobooks, if you buy an audiobook, you can listen to them from your computer, from your phone. I am considering a class where I teach a lot of these extra apps. So I'm not going to teach you how to use it more than showing it to you. But what I'm going to say is give it a try. And if you want it and you use it a lot, what do? We drag it and we put it on the dock, and then we can have your whole library of books in there. Now I'm going to say, no, I'm not using it right now, so I'm going to remove it. Okay. Diane, what's your question?
I have two questions. When I go on the bottom of my dock and I see the black dots, I can't get that.
Okay, so you have let me open a couple of apps so that I can, because right now I don't have anything open. So let me open a couple of apps now. I'm going to open my calculator, and I'm going to open my my news that I just opened. So see how there's a little dot there?
Right.
Do a right click. Okay. Do you know
Oh,
how
I'm gonna right click. So I have to put two fingers down, right?
down? Then you can say quit.
Okay. My second question is under apps, I'm not getting a whole list. I'm getting pictures of like App Store, Automator, books.
So that's because you're looking at things as icons. This view up there. Oh, you weren't here at the beginning of you didn't come back after break, and that's what I was explaining. Okay. So this views over here that when you open up, and you might not have even the word view, that's the first thing I explained after break, is different views. Okay. So you're probably watching things as icons and I have chosen as list. So go ahead and choose as list. And then we did a right click to see icon.
Oh,
text so that
got
it's
it.
you. Okay. And then you can see it this way.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Georgia.
I have the impression that some of these apps have to be paid for. Or are they all, if you've got the app, does it mean?
Got the app, you've either, it came for free or you've already paid for it. Now, if you open the books app, you have to pay for a book, but the app is free. So if it's on your computer, you've either already paid for it or it came with a computer. So
What about news?
which
I
one?
have a feeling that news has to be subscribed to.
Yeah, so when you open news, for example, I'm not subscribed to it and I'm getting a lot of news, right? But like NBC News, Wall Street Journal, Chicago Times, these are free. But then when I get to an article that has a little Apple News Plus, that's an article that's only available if I pay, right? So there's a lot of articles that I can read, CNN, NBC, these are all free. I can just click on this and open it and read it. Here's the article. But some articles are under the Brad Pitt is fooling you. If I tried to read this one and I click on it, it'll say try 1 month for free. And then if you like it, you need to pay. Does that make sense? It's
Right.
like some publications give you stuff for free and some don't. Okay.
Okay, so that the little plus, the
A
little
little Apple News Plus means
Apple
that
News
you need to
Plus.
pay for it. And the ones that don't have that, then it's free. Then you can just read the article. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Sorry, I shouldn't have opened news. Now my day is soured. I wish I hadn't. Oh well. Anyway, now we have other apps that you can pay for or not. For example, if you open the music app, if you open it, you can have music on your computer that you listen to just like the books because you own that music that you had from years. Or if you want to, you can go buy music at the iTunes store, just like the books. You can go and say, I want to buy this music, I want to buy that music, and then you can read it, listen to it from there. So yeah, the app is free. The material that you put into it or use it sometimes is what you need to pay for. Okay, so yeah, that's a great question. What else? I think that's it. Let me lower your hand. Okay, anyone else have a question? Was everyone able to put things in their dock and take them out of their dock at their willy-nilly? If so, give me a yes. If not, give me a no, and we'll give you a hand in doing that.
I haven't tried yet. I will try.
Okay, so you need to drag something in and then drag it out. Okay, so I'm going to drag the Siri app. I'm going to drag it in. There it is. And then I'm going to drag it out. So simple as that. Now, some of you guys might have dropped it in the wrong place. So watch. What if you're dragging it over? You're trying to drag it and it drops right there. Oh, it dropped in the middle. It didn't make it all the way to the dock. You see that?
Yeah.
If that happened to you, go ahead and right click on that thing and move it to trash because we don't want that little thing that you left there. And don't worry, the text edit app, which I dropped in the middle by mistake, the text edit app is still there. I just don't need this one. We're going to learn later what to do with that. But for now, just move it to the trash. Right click and move to the trash and then try again until you get it in the dock. And then when you don't want it, you either drag it off or you right click, options, remove from dock. Okay? If that worked, give me a yes. If it didn't, give me a no. So Carol, how can I help? You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I dragged the books app up in applications, but at the bottom of my list it says Macintosh hard drive applications and the books app at the
Yeah,
bottom of the list.
So hold on. You have something turned on that I have not told everyone else to turn on yet. You have it on because you've taken my class before, so you're good. But until everyone turns it on, I don't want to explain it. So hang in there.
Oh,
Okay?
okay.
It's something that you already have turned on, that some people who have taken the class have it on, and people who haven't taken the class need to turn it on. So you'll understand that once.
Later, huh? Okay, that's fine.
It's coming pretty soon, but it's not here yet.
Yeah. No.
And
So,
Diane, what's up? You're muted as well, so if you're speaking to me, I can't hear you.
I want to put the calculator app in my dock. So I
Okay.
clicked on that. I see the calculator here, but I can't move it.
Okay, so here's the calculator app. Put it as close as you can to your dock, and then you have to click and drag it. So you have to click and hold and drag it down. And then if you try to put it on top of something, it just, nothing will happen. It'll go away. You have to put it in between something and then let go. And then you will put the app in your dock. If you need some help, you can share your screen and I can see how you're doing it to see if we can help you make it happen. But for now, try it one more time. Click and drag. So you click and you hold it and you don't let go of your mouse and you drag it down. Is that working?
It's opening up the calculator and I have the
Yeah,
image.
because all you did was click on it. If you just click on it, it opens up the calculator. And then I have to explain something else. If you just open it, say, okay, let me take the calculator app off. So everyone pay attention to this. Say that I don't have, as you can see, I don't have the calculator app on my desktop. Okay. So if I try to click on it and it opens instead of dragging, which is what just happened.
Right.
Then pay attention because now the calculator app did somehow make it onto my.
Oh, you're
It's on
right.
the far right, but pay
It's-
attention to where it is. It's on the far right and it's in between. Watch, it's in between this line and that line. You see there's two lines there? This is temporary apps that are not on your dock, but that you just opened. So for example, the Books app is not in my dock, but I just opened it. So then it kind of is sitting there temporarily. The calculator app is there. It's sitting there temporarily. I'm going to turn off my calculator. I'm going to quit that app and it still sits there. Why? The last three apps that I've opened that are not on my dock, they just sit here waiting, because the computer figures, well, if you use it now, you probably use it again. So it'll sit there waiting. So the last three apps that you opened that do not live on your dock, hang in there for a bit. Now watch. I'm going to open two more apps. I'm going to open the Automator app. I'm going to double click to open it. And now I'm going to close it, cancel. And now look, suddenly I have the Automator app and the Calculator app, but the Books app is missing. Why? Because Excel is still open, so it keeps being there. The Books is gone because I opened a third one. Now I'm going to open, it only takes the last three. So now I'm going to open Chess, for example. I'm going to double click on Chess. Now I'm going to quit Chess. I'm going to quit Chess. And now Chess is there and the Automator is there, but the calculator is gone. You see that? It kind of cycles through the last three as long as they don't live on your dock. So, does that make sense to people? I'm going to
Right.
do you understand this? It's
How
all
do you
the apps
permanently?
that are open appear over here. So now I'm going to open again the calculator app and it pops there again. And now my Automator is gone. Why is the Excel not moving? Because it's running. So it doesn't disappear. The moment I close my app and get rid of it's running my rosters, then it will also enter into that rotation. Unless I choose to put the dock on the left side of this line. So watch what I'm going to do. Another way to put things on the dock is to grab it from here. I'm going to grab it from here. I'm going to right click, options, and I'm going to say, keep it in the dock. Keep it in the dock. And look, it moved over to this side. It just jumped over to that side because now it's out. So now when I open it and close it, it'll stay there because I said keep it in the dock. I can also grab it and move it over and put it over here because I want it more handy, or I can move it over there. So you guys can move the icons around. But if I get rid of it, then the only way to get it in again is to either open it again and drag it like that, or the other option was, what we just did is I opened the app completely, made it run, and then I grabbed this guy and I dragged it over. And as long as it's on this side, anywhere to the left of this line, it won't disappear anymore. Okay, so everyone try that one. Try telling one of the ones that is in your 3 here, right click and say keep in dock, and you'll see how it goes. Whoops, and now there you go. Now I have chess in my dock all the time. And then if you don't want it, you right click and you say remove from dock, and it disappears. Okay? If that worked for you, it's just a different way to do the same thing. As I said, you only need to learn one, but as long as you learn one and you're comfy with it, test the other few and then choose which one you like best. If it worked and you were able to take things on and off your dock, now give me a yes. So the yes means, yes, I was able to take things on and off the dock. As long as you did it one way, it doesn't matter if you didn't get all 3 ways. As long as you did it one way, that's good enough. Okay. Same with quitting an app. As long as you know how to quit an app one way, that's good enough. If you know how to do it 2 or 3 ways, that's great. But one is enough. Does that make sense? Okay. Let me see. Jennifer, were you able to take things on and off the dock? I can't hear you. So if you're talking, you're muted. I mean, you are talking. I can see your mouse moving, but you are muted, so I can't tell. Well, you're still, there we go. Now you're open. Now I can hear.
Sorry, honey. I'm so far behind that I'm starting to fiddle now. I'm not even listening to you. I'm just fiddling. So I'm
Fine,
gonna
then.
have to go back and
Don't worry. Then let's do this so that I don't keep calling you. Whenever I ask, did you do it? Did it work or not? Just give me a no, and then I'll know not to call on you.
okay, but I can't
Or I
get
can just not call on you. My goal is to have everyone learn it, but I don't want to insist and force anyone to learn it. If you, at this point, need to listen and then take your time watching the recording, I am 100% fine with that.
yes.
But if you have a question, go ahead and ask me. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, let's make sure now that all of our apps are not running. So now do the whole right click, quit, right click, quick on everything as much as possible, because we're going to move on to something else. So that's how you put things on and off the dock. Now I'm going to also teach you something else. First of all, let's get rid of this Finder window for a minute by clicking on this little red X. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a distinction, and I'm going to share. This is something that I have normally not written out, but I'm going to try to see if this makes more sense. Okay, are you guys seeing a whiteboard, like a white place? Are you seeing that? Am I sharing a whiteboard?
Yes.
Big white space with nothing? Okay. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to try to make a couple of drawings. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little square over here. I'm going to call this one app. I'm going to call this one single window app. And then I'm going to make another thing in here, which is multiple window app and window app. Okay, so let me distinguish what I'm doing. Okay, so these are 2 different things, okay? So the single window app is usually a very small app. Now, you don't understand what a small app means, but it's small. Well, a small app is such a bad, let me explain. It only has one option to view the entire app. And an example of this is our system settings, for example. Okay, now I'm gonna move this up a little bit so it makes more sense, and let me get it much bigger because it's kind of hard to see. Let me get, let me make it be much bigger font. Okay. Can you read this?
Yeah.
Oh, it has one option to view the entire app. Only a few apps are this way. When they are this way, you can close the entire app by clicking on the red dot. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me save this. And this is pretty important. I just, last time I wasn't able to save what I was doing, and I certainly don't want to lose this. So let me make sure that I'm able to save it. Okay, well, hopefully it'll save when I'm done. Okay. So for example, the app that works like this would be, for example, the system settings, right? So I'm going to give that little example. Example, system settings. So more and more apps are made this way. And I'm just trying to make this fit. Give me a second. This one I can't seem to be able to move. It's driving me crazy. Let me move it over there. Okay. So an example of this one would be the system settings. Another example of this one would be, why is this not moving? Another example of this would be the calendar, the notes, a lot of the ones that we open, the contacts, all of these are single window apps. Why does that come out in such a big font? It's like, okay, I need to figure out a better way, but never mind. Here we go, 24. Okay, so these are all single window apps. Okay, so let me show you what I mean about that in a minute. There's other kind of apps that have multiple windows. So you open an app and it can have many different windows. For example, mail, you can have many different mails. Safari, you can have many different windows in Safari. The Finder, you can have many different Finder windows. So let me go ahead and give you an example of that. Safari, Mail, Finder, Finder. I don't know, right now, there's so many that I don't want to kind of keep going, but there's a ton of different apps that function one way or another. In fact, and this is important, the majority of the apps that are more complicated in what they do have multiple windows. So it's much more typical to have an app that has more windows than to have an app that has only a couple of windows. That's the least typical thing. Okay? Does that, now, what do I mean by that? Let's go ahead and I'll start working on it. But what's the big difference? Oh, I forgot to put it. So this is what you can close the entire app by clicking on the red dot versus you I hit, why doesn't it, sorry, this should be easy to write and it's not. You cannot. It's not letting me edit. Okay. So then let me delete it and let me rewrite it. You cannot close the app with the red dot. You only close one window if you use the red dot. You must quit the app to close that app. Okay, so this one I'm going to move over a little bit, and right now I'm going to bring this down a bit more so that we can still have the example. Okay, so can everyone see this? And
Yeah.
this is something that tends to confuse people for a long time. So maybe hopefully having this, and I'm going to save it and put it as a PDF and stuff like that. Hopefully we can, people can begin to remember this. Most apps function the second way. Most apps can only be closed by quitting. Remember how to quit? Right click on the dot and quit. Then I close the entire app. A lot of people think that they can close the app by clicking on the red button, especially if you come from the world of the Mac, the PC, where the red X kind of closes the app. But on the Mac, it only works a few times with like 5 or 6 apps. The rest of the time, if you were to go up and close that little red dot, all you would be closing would be that window, that window, that window, but not the entire app. Now, why this makes a difference is people might think that because they don't see these windows that the app is closed. But the app is not closed, the app is still running, and the app is still using up computer space and memory. And the only way you know if it's still running if you don't see the windows because you've closed them with the red dot and you've only closed this, then the only way you can tell is if it still has a black dot at the bottom. So I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to,
Diana,
yes.
what you kept saying about red dot. I don't see a red dot in the screen that you are.
I'm not. This is just a description.
Oh,
I will now go ahead and explain what I mean. Let me name this into red dot close or quit. I'm gonna name this so that it stays so that we can come opening it and closing it. Now, hang in there. Now I'm going to show you what this all means because up until now I haven't been able to show this. So I'm going to stop this share. Okay. And I'm now going to share the my computer again. So here we go. So what am I talking about? Basically, now you understand that the red dot, and here's what I mean by the red dot. I'm going to open a Finder window. The red dot that I'm talking about is this one, the one next to the yellow one. This one minimizes, remember?
okay.
The red dot closes a window. So if I click on this, the window closed. Did it work? Did the window close?
Yes.
That red dot? Yes. Now notice that I'm saying a window because in case you might remember or not, it turns out that one of those things that I said that doesn't close is, and I'm trying to see if I can find my whiteboard that I saved for this program and see, I didn't want, that's the problem. Before I wasn't able to find my whiteboard and I can't find it again. It's there somewhere, but where is that whiteboard that I just, no, here it is. Here we go. And it came up a little bit big. Remember that I said that one of the examples of multiple windows is the Finder, right? The Finder is what we just opened. We opened a Finder window. And in fact, I always say open a Finder window. So what it means is that you can have multiple Finder windows. You can have multiple Safari windows. You can have multiple, there's all these different apps that you can have multiple windows. So now back to sharing my screen. Let me demonstrate that. This is a Finder window. Great. I can open another Finder window. I can go over here and I can right click and say new Finder window. Now I have two Finder windows. See how I have two of the same thing? I can go up to the top file and say new Finder window. Now I have three windows of the same thing. These are windows of one same app called the Finder. And if I were to use this red X, all I'm doing is I'm closing the window, but I'm not closing the Finder app. Does that make sense? So if I use the red X, I closed this window and this window and this window, but the Finder app is still running, isn't it? See how it has a black dot? I'm going to show you again. I also mentioned Safari, so I'm going to open Safari. Here's Safari. This is a window. What if I want to open a new Finder window, a new Safari window? I can File, New Window. I can be reading the news on this one, and I could be checking the school information on this one. So here's my school information on one, and here's the news, or here's the weather on this one. So now I have one window of Safari that shows me the school stuff, and the other window of Safari is telling me that it's cold or hot or whatever it is. Does that make sense, you guys? I have two windows open. I can have more windows open. I can another new window, and I can go check out the Apple store because I'm going to buy a new computer or something. These are all windows of the same app called Safari. Does that make sense? So if I close this with the red dot, what am I going to close? The window or the app?
The window.
Yeah. So I'm going to close that, and I have another window open. I'm going to close that, and I have an under window open. And here's the part that's important. What if I only have one window? Am I going to close the app if I close this little X? See how it has an X when I hover over the red dot? I'm going to try that. I'm going to close this window, and a lot of you guys would think that the app closed down because I don't see a window anymore. How can I tell if the app is running or not? Yep.
The little black dots at the bottom.
Black dot. All I did was close all the windows, but I did not quit the app. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you might not see the app running and you go, oh no, I don't have a lot of things running at the same time. Well, you might have said, okay, I'm going to close Safari. So you did that. Well, you didn't close Safari. You just closed a window. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You might do that with your mail. You might do that with so many apps that have different windows and think that you're closing them, but you have to look down here. And if there's a dot, that's how you close that app. You do right click, quit. Now you've actually closed the app. Okay, so everyone try that. Let's open Safari.
Okay.
And then let's go up to either File, New Window. That's one way. Or you can go back to Safari and do right click, New Window. So now you've opened two different Safari windows. At first they open looking the same. And then you open a third one. And now you have three Safari windows. Okay, everyone, once you have three Safari windows open, give me a yes. So open Safari and then right click New Window, or at the top File, New Window. Open three windows, one on top of the other, and it's like, whoa, okay. I don't normally do this, Deanna. Why are you making me do this? Because by a lot of people, I mean, 90% of you guys, when you share the screen, I say, okay, go ahead and get rid of that. Your first instinct is to go and click on the red dot because you know that that disappears it from your view. That's not quitting the program. That's just closing one window. So now let's do that. Close one window. Close the next window. And close the next window. And now look at your dock. and tell me if you have closed Safari. Just because you don't see windows, you have not quit the program. Okay?
Okay.
So when we have issues like Patricia said, when she has a lot of programs open, her computer slows down. Yeah, you're not seeing it open, so you think it's closed, but if you have many things open, it's still slowing down your programs. Now, let's quit that program by doing a right click and quit. Now you're truly not using up computer resources by running Safari. Does that make sense, you guys? All right, so Sue, how can I help you? What's not working? Share your screen. Go ahead and share your screen. I can't hear you, so you need to also unmute yourself and then share your screen, and then I can give you a hand. Everyone else, give me a yes if it made sense to you. Give me a no if it didn't and you need some help. Sue, do you need a reminder to share your screen? Go down to the green share button. And then there's another little share button that's blue that you need to click. Your sound is off, so I don't know what your problem is. You need to unmute yourself. Oh, because you're in this computer that I am hiding. Okay, you're hiding the Zoom on that computer that you need to share. Okay, go down to your dock where it says Zoom. Right click and say show all windows, and it'll pop up again. And now, once you're seeing it, now you can say share. I still can't hear you. When you move your mouth, I know you're saying something to me, but I know that you can't, just so you know, I can't hear you. Okay. On the computer that you need to share, the one that, not the one that you're watching me on, but the one that you don't see Zoom on. Okay, so the one that that you're trying to do the Safari thing and you can't. Hi, Justine. Thanks for joining us. So on the computer that you are trying to do the Safari thing and you can't, that one, you need to pull up Zoom so that you can share that screen.
Okay.
There you go. Now, next to that audio button, you see the share button. Click on the green share button. All right, did you find it? And
Yeah.
now under the green share button, there's another button in the bottom, blue with white letters that also says share. Click on that one and then you'll be sharing. Perfect. Ooh, I like that. All right, so the exercise that we were trying to do was the one where you make multiple Safari windows, okay? So Justine, we're just working on the fact that when you open multiple windows, the red dot on the left is not what closes a program. So go ahead and click on Safari. Yeah, click on that one time. And
You
open.
screen sharing. Yeah, and I get, well, you're looking at my screen, right?
I'm looking at a big floating fish that I love, but I don't see a Safari window open. So click on that Safari to open a window.
Well, I did.
Where are you seeing that window?
There, when I click on Safari,
Okay, you keep having that message of no available windows.
no available windows.
We needed to figure something out there because there's something that you've got set up that's kind of weird. Try and doing a right click and see if you can say open a new window. Okay, say a right click.
On Safari?
Yeah, do a right click and say on that little thing that pops up, does it say
Nothing popped up.
with the right click?
Right.
Yeah.
Is
So I need to figure out what this no available windows is that you have. Go ahead and hit your escape key. ESC.
Yeah.
Escape. There we go. Now we're in normal mode. Okay. So now right click. There. And at the top say new window. So whenever you see that no available windows, hit your escape key. Put that down. Write that down somewhere because this has happened to you a lot of times. I need you to hit your escape key when you see the no available windows. Okay. And it's got to do with something in how you're using your touchpad, that it's got like one of the live corners set up, and I need to figure out how to turn that off for you. But right now, whenever you see the no available windows, just hit your escape key. Okay, you got that written down?
Yep.
Okay. Now, go back to your icon, Safari icon, and once again, right click and open another window. Right click, and now say new window again. Oh, you actually moved down and didn't choose it. Try again. You moved it before you clicked it and then it didn't happen. Right click. Nope, nope, don't move it up. Right click. No, you're removing. Okay. So now keep your mouse quiet or your finger quiet, otherwise it doesn't work. So do a right click first. 2 fingers down. There. Now move up to new window. Okay. All your windows are popping up in the same spot, so we're not seeing them. But if you go up to the top, if you go, guys, go down and open a few windows again. Try it again in Safari, everyone. But I'm going to show you on her screen. Go back to your Safari for a second, to the icon, and right click. And you know why I know that she has 3 windows open? Because look at the top. Right
Three
above the word new window, it says start page, start page, start page 3 times. You see that? Those are the 3 windows that she has open. Do you see what I'm talking about? If you move up,
Yeah.
okay, go up and click on the second start page, for example. Go up to the second one, the one that's not clicked. Yeah. Yeah, and now let go. And the problem is that you have them all stacked one on top of the other, so you don't see 3 windows. Go up to your windows now. Go up to the window now, to your Safari window. And I need to find my pencil to mark to you. Yeah. And now let's close one of them. Just the window, because you are closing with the red dot. Yeah. And it looks like nothing happened because you closed only one. Now, when you do it a second time and a third time, you will be closing a different window. This is actually, hold on, this is really weird because you can't tell you have 3 windows. So let me tell you what to do. Let me tell you what to do. Now you probably only have 2. Grab it from here, from a neutral area. Like go grab it from where there's nothing. Click and drag it over a little bit. Drag it out of the way. Click and drag it. Okay, now you double clicked. So now move it down a little bit. Yeah. And see how behind you had another one? Now go click on the one that's in the back. So back there, you have another one. Yeah, so click on that. See how another one came up? Now, you already closed one of the 3, but now you have 2 windows. In your case, each window is opening up in the exact same spot. So you didn't even know you had 3 windows open unless you had looked at that little right click on the icon. Go ahead and let's open another one. Go back to your Safari and open a 3rd window. Right click. And see how she's down to 2 now? And go ahead and open a new window again. Now you have a 3rd window. Now, these windows aren't showing anything. You have your settings set up so that your Safari window doesn't show you anything when you start, which is a bit surprising, but that's okay. But each one of these is a Safari window, okay? So now, let's go and close each one at a time by clicking on the red dots. And what you just are closing is just a window, not the program. So go and click on it again. You need to not move your mouse when you click. There we go. Perfect. You closed one. Now go click another one. Yep. Click on the red dot. Perfect. And then the red dot. And perfect. You've closed all 3 windows. Is Safari closed? Is the program closed?
No.
No,
No.
I have to go down here
Oh, there, right click and
go, come on.
right click. You need to right click on the icon. You clicked on the red dot and the black dot and that didn't work. So now that your mouse, the tip of your mouse has to be on the icon. The tip is the only thing that counts there. Now do your 2 fingers down.
It's not,
Okay, 2 fingers down.
huh?
2 fingers down is your right click.
On the mouse.
Or do you have a mouse or do you have a touchpad?
Touchpad.
Okay, 2 fingers onto your touchpad.
Yeah, nothing's happening.
You know, see how the mouse is moving? When the mouse moves, it doesn't work. You need to keep your fingers really quiet. Just touch 2 fingers down, but don't move them. And then that works. 2 fingers down.
Nothing's happening.
Well, you were doing it before, so whatever you're doing
Oh.
now, you did it quite a few. You did right click open window a bunch of times. So now something you're doing is different.
Saying no available windows.
Oh, hit your escape key. You have the no available windows markup. Thank you, Georgia. Hit your escape key. That's why it wasn't working. Okay, now it'll work. Right click. Perfect. And now say quit. Thanks, Georgia, for seeing that. From now on, Sue, whenever something doesn't work for you, and Georgia just pointed it out and we weren't looking, I was just going, try it again, try it again. And no, it's because you had the no available windows open. I am not sure where you're getting that. It has something to do with your touchpad. I need to look into it. But for now, just remember, whenever you go, it's not working, it's not working. Like if you hear yourself saying that, look for the no available windows message and hit your escape key.
Escape key.
Because the first
Now I
day
have
in class, that kept happening and we weren't aware of it. And it was like we couldn't make anything work. This time we figured it out. It's the no available windows, but it appears in the middle of your fish and you're not looking there and you're looking at your mouse and you're going, it's not working. And we need to go, oh, I told myself it's not working. That must mean that I have no available windows. Hit your escape key and get out of that mode. And then it does work after that.
Why do I have a little green pencil in the bottom corner
I don't see a green pencil. What are you talking about?
over here?
Oh,
Annotate.
yeah, that's the Zoom that allows you to do, that's me doing this. That's, you could, if you clicked on that, but don't avoid it. It's a Zoom thing. Let me use the pencil to annotate. You don't need it. It's a Zoom thing. That's
So
all.
how do I get rid of it?
It just, no, you don't. It's part of Zoom. It lives there in case you want to annotate something, but I don't want you to annotate anything, so just don't touch it.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. It's just part of Zoom. You can't get rid of it. You just don't use it and that's all. All right. I'm gonna stop sharing. A lot of times we don't use everything that's available. That doesn't mean that it's take offable, so to say. It's just,
Well, now it went away.
I just stopped your share. So
Oh.
that's why you can't annotate, because you can only annotate when you're sharing your screen. And I stopped your share, so there's no more pencil available. Okay, so now, whoops, that's my alarm saying that we have 15 minutes left of class. All right, so let me share my screen again and tell you that the opposite. I'm going to go ahead and open one of the ones that I said has only one screen, like the system settings. When I open the system settings, this is a single screen app. You will never, a single window app. In fact, all the windows keep opening inside of the app. So there's many, many windows to it, so to say, or many views of it, but never do you have another window pop open. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I can go over here, I can go over here, I can go over here, and it all switches here, but it's only one. So if this app I close by using the red dot, what happened? Did the app close?
Yes.
Yeah, it did. So a lot of people get confused and think that that works for everything, but no, it only works in fact for just a few of the apps. 90% of the other apps that you're going to use, you need to make sure that you quit the app from the bottom. Okay? So if you ever think that you don't have an app running because you don't see it, go down and see if the dot, and if the dot is running, then do a right click and quit. Okay? That means it's an app that all you did was close the windows. Now, we're going to go ahead and open a Finder window. See, I don't say open the Finder app. I say open a Finder window always. And why? Because I'm going to go down to this little icon and I'm going to click one time, and one Finder window will open. We only need one right now. When we need two, we can go down here, right click, and open another Finder window. But we don't need that right now. We just need one open. And let me just remind you, by the way, the only app you cannot close is the Finder app. If you were to try to quit, it never shows you the choice of quitting, because it's the only app it's the app that runs the computer. So if the computer is turned on, the Finder is running. So you can never quit the Finder app. Okay? Finder app is unquittable. So you will always be opening Finder windows. Okay.
Thank you for explaining that, because that keeps on happening to me because I keep on trying to shut it off.
Yeah, you can't. That's the only one you will never be able to shut off. Now, if you were to quit the Zoom right now, you would leave the class. So don't quit it. So the only two that you should always have open is Zoom and the Finder while we're in class, unless we're opening another app in order to learn. right? So we spent a lot of time today with opening many different apps and working around them. Now this is the next thing I'm going to show you, which is important, and then we're going to finish the class. Right now, I'm on the Finder window, and up here, and I'm going to kind of say up here, meaning everything I'm going to, when I say up here from now on, I'm always talking about this little apple, the apple up here. That, I don't want to erase it, but I'm talking about that apple. Okay, so the apple icon is always, 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 always on the top left. It never appears anywhere else. So that's one of those few things that are always the same on a computer, on a Mac, okay? What always changes is what's right next to the apple. So right now, to the right of the apple, it says Finder. Why? Because I have a Finder open. How about if I close this Finder window? I'm going to close this Finder window. It still says Finder because when nothing else is open, the only thing running is the Finder. Does that make sense? It'll say Finder window. Now, if you see Zoom somewhere, click on the Zoom. Click on on my face that I'm talking. Click on something that has to do with Zoom. Actually, I need to stop my share for this to work, but I'm going to share again. Because I'm sharing, I can't make this work, but a lot of the times when you touch any part of your Zoom, over there, it'll switch to Zoom Workplace. But since Zoom is running, it might be a bit different. Let me show you the following. Let's go down to our doc again. And I'm going to open the, did anyone put the calculator on? If you put the calculator on, let's open the calculator. Here's the calculator. If not, open something else. And look and see that now next to the apple, it says calculator. You see that?
Yeah.
Because that's the app that's running.
Mhm.
Now, if you open something else instead of calculator, maybe you open the calendar, then now it says calendar. So go ahead and open two programs, just two. I just opened calendar and calculator. You guys open two, whichever two you prefer. I particularly opened two that are very different in size on purpose, and I'll show you why. But if you have two apps open, now pay attention. Just watch me. Don't try to do this. Watch. When I have my calendar open, over there it says calendar. I'm going to move it a little bit out of the way, which is something I'm going to teach you not to do with this exercise. And my calculator is in the back. And see how my calendar has green, yellow, and red colors. It's all very colorful. But my calculator right now, see how the three little dots, unless I touch them, they are actually gray? You see that? That's because it's not the foreground app. The foreground app is the one that's over there. It's the active app, the one that I'm running, the one that I'm using. Watch what's going to happen when I click on the calculator that I see. Right now I can see it, so I'm going to just touch it.
It comes to
Now that I touched it, it came to the foreground. You see it? It's very clear. Background, foreground. And that's why I purposely made two very differently sized ones. I touched the calendar, it came to the foreground. The calculator moved to the background. I touched the calculator, it moves to the foreground. The calendar moves to the background. Also, the name changes. Now my foreground app is the calculator. Now I'm going to touch the calendar. My foreground app is the calendar. Now I'm going to touch the calculator. The foreground app is the calculator. So whatever I'm touching, whatever has colors, see how the calendar doesn't have colors now? I have to touch them to see them, but if not, they don't have colors. So whatever has little colors is your foreground app, and it should be in front. Okay? Now, what happens if I touch the Finder? The Finder would be the desktop. What if I go and touch the Finder window right now? Bing. I clicked. I clicked right here. Now it says Finder. I have two things open here, but they're both grayed out. See how these colors are grayed out? They are there, but they're not the foreground app. The foreground app is the Finder. For me to get the foreground app to be the calendar, I would have to click on the calendar. A lot of times when I'm helping you, I tell you, just click, just click. I say click. Why? Because I want you guys to bring it to the foreground so we can work on it. You're like, but I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. I see my calendar here. Yes, but it is not the foreground app. The foreground app is the calculator. So to make it be the foreground app, you just need to touch it, click it, and it becomes the foreground app. Does that make sense, you guys? Go ahead and do that. Touch
But-
your apps and then touch your Finder, and then touch the other app, and then touch your Finder, and then touch the other app, and then touch your Finder and touch your calendar. Just try that and keep reading what's on the apple. It's what's next to the apple is the key to telling you what's in front, especially when your apps do not change space, because now I do not have my apps one on top of the other. I have two apps running, but they're not on top of each other. So when I click on the calendar and the calculator, they don't obviously pop in front because I don't have them next to each other. But I know that this one's the one that's the running one. Why? Because it has colors here and because that word says calendar. And when I touch the calculator, I know it's the foreground one because it's got colors and because the name is up there. And if I don't touch either one of those and I touch my background or my desktop, what's running is the Finder. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yes. Yes. Question?
Yes.
Question? Is system preferences the same as system settings?
Yes.
Yes and no. It is exactly the same thing, but it looks very different. In your computer, it's system preferences.
Thank you.
For the newer operating systems, it's system settings. And yes, if I say open the system settings, for you, it would mean open the system preferences, but it looks different, but it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Thank you.
Okay. So yes, it's the same thing. It just looks very different. Okay. Now, why is all of this important, you guys? What's the point of all of this? It's because what else is changed? Hold on. It seems to be there's a question. Yeah, Sue?
I can't get an app up. I'm seeing your screen.
Oh, because
And I can't get an app up. I can't open an app down below.
okay, stop. You're seeing my screen. Remember that was because we needed you to share your screen. Go ahead and minimize the Zoom again. So that-
Minimize your screen?
yeah, you need to be able, you're seeing me on the other computer, so you don't need to see me on this one. So just go back and go to the Zoom, right click on the Zoom icon and say hide so that it gets out of the way so that you can work.
Oh,
That's only for people like her who have two screens. Then you can hide Zoom until you need it again. And you only need it when you need to share your screen with me like you just did. And now you can see your own screen. Did that work?
Zoom, hide.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see.
Now I can get to my apps.
Exactly. And that's great because you have Zoom out of the way because you have a second screen that you're using to watch me. Okay.
No, I can't. My apps aren't coming up.
Well, do
If
you
I-
have any no available windows?
I'm clicking on the calendar.
Okay, so does it say then hit your escape key? Remember what we just went through? You probably have the no available windows thing happening. There we go. Click on the escape key and now you should be able to open your calendar.
No available windows, escape.
Escape.
Okay.
And now click on the
It keeps on going, no available windows.
There's something you're touching in your touchpad. Try to put only your fingers and not your whole hand. There's something called live corners, you guys, that on the corners of your touchpad does things, and unless you turn them off, there's something you're touching there that I need to do some research because I need to figure it out, that you're touching that is turning the no available windows on, or you're sliding your fingers on the touchpad. Just
Okay, now I got the calendar thing up.
exactly. Just simply click with your fingers. Don't like drag your fingers around because there's you could have more windows of your Finder open that aren't even going to go there that are hiding on the side and you're sliding them to the side. I need to figure out how to turn it off for you so that this stops happening, but I don't know right now off the top of my head how to turn it off.
Okay.
So I'll find it. One of these days I'll figure it out and then you won't have that problem anymore. But right now you need to know to hit your escape key when something isn't working.
Okay, now I have two apps up.
Okay, great. So guys, one last thing to show you before class is over. You should still have at least two apps up. I'm going to put my calculator behind my calendar because it's so small that I want to hide it and it's on purpose. So now just watch me. Just watch me, okay? Don't do anything. Just watch. what other way can I bring up my apps? Because touching them is good, but what if now I want to bring up the calculator and I don't see it? I can't touch it to bring it up. So instead of touching it, I need to go to my dock and I can just click on this little icon. So I'm going to click on the calculator. Boom. See how it came up? Now I want to bring my calendar up and I'm going to go to the calendar in the dock and go boom. See how it moved up? So when you have a lot of apps open, and now we only have 2, if you don't see the app, so I'm going to make my calendar really big. And now I'm going to open my contacts, for example, and see how it's smaller? So when I make my calendar be in front, now I can't see my contacts either. So the only way to bring up my contacts, I know it's there, it's running, is to just click on the icon in the dock and boom. Now I have my contacts. Now I want my calculator. Boom. Now I have my calculator. Now I want my calendar again. I can either touch if I see it, but when I don't see it, I need to touch the dock and then it'll come up. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yes.
So it's just, the dock is always the solution. So instead of touching stuff, if you get accustomed to always go to your dock to bring something up, so whenever you say, I don't know where to find my Zoom stuff, if you click on the Zoom icon, well, Zoom will pop up. Zoom is a little bit different because it brings up other stuff, but calendar or contacts or anything else that I open right now that's smaller. So my notes are smaller, but they're kind of the same as concept between contacts and notes. I'm making them flip to become the foreground by just clicking on the docs. Does that make sense? And why is this important? I'm going to mention it really quickly right now, and then we'll go deeper into it next week because I have only 1 minute left. Why is it important to know what's your foreground app? Because, and now just watch closely, don't do this, but go up to the top of my screen and look at this area to the right. Okay, so see how it says Zoom Workplace right now? Because I'm using the finger. So let me just give it a circle again. This area that's here is what I need you to look at. Okay, so with your eyes there, looks what's going to happen when I'm going to click on the contacts now. Sorry, I clicked on the notes, not on the contacts. So what happened is that the notes changed, but these words changed as well. Now I'm going to click on the calendar.
Oh,
See how the calendar changed, but these words change as well. Now I'm going to click on the calculator. See how all the words change? Now you're going to tell me, no, they didn't change too much. I'm going to change from the calendar, and it says calendar, file, edit, view, window, help. I click on the calculator and it says edit, view, window, help. So they're similar words, but see how file is missing? Now I'm going to bring up the contacts and it says file, edit, view, card, window, help. But you see how 4 or 5 of these repeats themselves each time? Edit, view, window, help seems to be on all of them. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on Zoom again. And I'm going to draw, and now it says meeting, view, edit, window, help. Basically, edit, window, help appears always, but there's always one other thing or two that changes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so why this matters is because these are the views that matter for my notes. And if I go over here and change the view on my notes or the windows on my notes or the format or the edit, it will change only my notes. And if now I'm going to close a couple of my apps now to show you this again on, if I have 2 different apps that are not overlapping, right? And what if I want to change the view of my calendar, of my calculator, and I go to view, yeah, it changes from a basic calculator to a scientific calculator to a programmer calculator. I'm going to bring it back to the basic calculator. But if instead I'm in my contacts and I go to view, it's the same thing. So I might think I'm changing my calculator. Unless I look at that, I go to my view and I can either hide the lists or I can show the lists. And what's changing is what's in my contacts. Does that make sense? Or if I have a Finder window open and I go to View, I can change it to look as icons or as columns or as list. But if I'm not careful as to what word is there, the view, we might think we're looking at the same view, but each view is appropriate to their own apps. Does that make sense? Each window is appropriate to their own apps. So if I click on window right now, I'm getting choices for the Finder window. If I click on calculator and I go to window, those are choices for my calculator. If I click on contacts, these are choices for my contacts, even though they all say window or help or view. Does that make sense? So it's always important to know which app you are looking at, because otherwise, a lot of the times I tell people, okay, go to your view. And they're like, well, my view doesn't look like your view. Well, it doesn't, because instead of looking at the Finder view, you're looking at the contacts view. So you need to bring to the foreground the contacts, which is why it's also much easier to work on your computer when you only have the apps that you're using and not 10 others. Because then if you have many things open, you'll never be sure what these are for unless you look at the name. This is the view for the contacts. If I click on the calculator, this is the view for the calculator. Does that make sense, you guys? So keep an eye always on what's the name next to the apple if you're going to use any of these words. If you're not going to use any of these words, then just touching them, that makes sense. But if you're going to go and change the view of your Finder window, and you're over here and you're trying to find the columns or lists or whatever, you'll go, I don't find it, I don't see it, because I told you to go to view. Why? Because your Finder window isn't in the foreground. What's in the foreground? Then you'll find the contact list, columns, gallery. Okay? So now, let's close this class by quitting and getting rid of all the different apps that are on our screen. And I'm happy to stay for a few more minutes to answer questions. But for now, that's it. What we've learned today is how to handle icons and applications and how to move them in and out of the way and how to hide them when I don't want them, turn them on, turn them off, that kind of stuff. Okay, so basically the operational, the functioning of all these things on my computer. The summary, try to have as many apps open as you can, but when you have a lot of them, at least either use a stage manager or minimize to not have a mess of stuff. Okay?
Okay.
If you have any questions, hang in there. Other than that, I'll see you on Tuesday.
Okay.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
Have a good holiday.
Thank you. Oh, that's true.
It's 4th of July, fireworks.
Of July. I'm working so hard, I wasn't even aware of that. Enjoy your fireworks.
Carol was wearing her.
Oh, Carol's already all set up. Yeah. Look
Yeah.
at that. She's ready to go. All
Thanks,
right.
Deanna.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye, Justine. Get better.
Thanks.